Hello, everybody, and welcome to OSL Olympus Smite League. This is Morty on the mic, joined here by Riggz, a production extraordinaire, and next to me here in the booth is none other than Jturner. How are you feeling, JT?
Doing pretty good. We're ready to cast some Crete doggies today. I'm excited to see this set. Two teams that should be towards the top of the standings, and we're ready to get into it.
So what can you tell me about some of those players? I know you're a former Crete creature yourself, isn't that right?
Long ago.
Once upon a time, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Getting a word that RoboCop's birthday is today. That is big news for sure. Big shout out on the stream there for RoboCop. Happy birthday, big dog.
AKA Ivory Macaroon 55. Who you'll be seeing him today. Both are getting right into picks and bans. We got Kabrak and Ares banned from Jungla, and Going Ghost we're gonna have Kali and Bari. Nothing too surprising right now. We're just over here tossing over to the Pele. These bans are going in pretty fast, but nothing too surprising right now. It seems like these teams are just banning the same things. You know, pretty similar bans to what you would see last patch. These teams, this is their first game in the new meta. You know,
right.
They aren't like us, Morty. They don't pay attention to these Smite Prime games over here. but we got Agni locked in first. Not surprising. I'm assuming this is going to go over to Lightburb in the ADC role.
Yeah, Agni's been a phenomenal carry pick. I'm a huge fan of what he brings to the table. I mean, he still has that same high burst damage from Flame Wave. He still has great structure. Oh, not still, but now he has great structure damage with the aspect. I mean, there's just so much to love about having Agni as a carry. Even that dash, too, that not only is a great escape tool, but also it is a whole lot of damage should somebody walk into that path of flame that is left behind. And part of me think that's why they took Kabrakan off the table so early, because Kabrakan's a huge counter to that Agni because he can't go under. In retaliation, Going Ghost does pick up Neath, one of the most prominent mid laners in the game right now, and then Sobek to follow up.
And Neath and Sobek, probably the two most potent picks in Crete. Two pretty easy characters. You know, you press buttons and most of the time you get value. But on the other side, Bologna, that's not a character you see much in this division. I don't know if I think that might be going jungle, in my opinion. I don't know if Black Banana's got a Bologna in his belt. So I honestly would expect this to go jungle at least right now. And then Geb, that's a King Boris staple right there. I don't think it meshes well with the Agni in the dual lane. So I hope this Agni may be going to mid. I don't like the synergy that, you know, the Agni and the Geb bring together. Agni, you want to be pretty aggressive, while Geb, you want to, like, hold back just a little bit.
I will hunt you down.
I'll be interested to see how those two picks shake out. On the other side, Mordred and Cupid. Mordred, not something I see Robo play very much, but on Cupid, I'm pretty sure that's a cop special right there.
Yeah, I really like this Cupid going into Jungla's matchup right now. This Fields of Love from Cupid will be able to stop Agni from dashing out. This will stop Bologna from using Eagle's Rally. This will stop Geb from using Rollout. There's a lot of disabling that Cupid brings to the table that's going to be very nice as far as countering Jungla's picks so far. Also in huge agreement with you on Agni and Geb not really doing too well together in lane. Maybe this could be a Agni mid. I know he still has a pretty good amount of burst damage, so Flamo might be able to take that through, but now that Vulcan's locked in, I'm starting to doubt that potential.
Yeah, but you know what? They made up for it. They took the best character in the game, Odin. If this Odin is going jungle, this game's just chopped up. Go ahead and give it to Jungla. We saw the damage that this character can do yesterday in Smite Prime. You know, you just build a Jotun and some full defense lifesteal items, and the game's just over. Hopefully, I'm hoping this goes into the jungle, because in the solo lane it kind of loses a little bit of value. You're not able to go around and use that cage and use your general presence in the game. Just later, you can do it more effectively early. So hopefully this Odin is going jungle. I still don't like the Bologna going solo for Big Black Banana because I've never seen him play it personally, but this Odin could make up for it.
I am shocked to see that not only did Hunbats get through the ban phase, but he got picked last. Out of all the 9 other gods that are here, Hunbats is behind all of them. That is wild. to me. I mean, this is a super prominent jungler, phenomenal ultimate. Fear No Evil can really do some huge things in team fights, combined with Pursue the Weak, with Mordred. Cupid has the Fields of Love, and then Sobek can just chomp up whatever's left with his Sobexecute. There is just so much team fighting potential with Going Ghost team right here. But on the other side, what is La Jungla known for? What does that team comp bring to the table?
They're gonna be a high damage, high CC lockdown comp. You know, you have Agni stun, you got Blood of Silence, you got Geb, knock up, you got the stuns, Odin Cage stuns, just a lot of CC on the side of Lufung, a lot of lockdown, and outside of the Bologna, I like their comp better, just mainly because I don't think Humbats fits into this meta currently right now, full tank. A character who, like, you typically see him in these full high damage. That's why he was so prominent these last couple patches. Everybody's putting full attack, and he was just able to one-shot people come late game. So,
Yeah.
But I don't think this Humbat is going to fit well into this current tank meta. So I would give a slight advantage to Lahunga on this comp because of mainly just this Odin.
So you mentioned high lockdown, high damage on La Jungla, but how should they be playing their team fights if they want things to go their way? Is this more of a front to back comp, or are we diving deep into the back line? What does their ideal team fight look like?
You're wanting to get deep into that back line. Preferably start out with an Odin Cage. You know, the Geb can peel back just a little bit, but you know, you just want to start this Odin Cage into like a big Vulcan ult, because that's going to be like your kind of setup. Right. A lot of setup for this Vulcan as well. You know, like mainly the Cataclysm from the Geb is the #1 thing. Just
Truth.
A lot of CC, especially if you do it into an Odin Cage. Preferably, you would like to have your Geb just like sitting a little bit back. Like me personally, I think if the Geb just sits back here and then Cataclysms the Humbats whenever he just dives to the back line, I think that Lahunga should have a pretty easy victory here. Looking at the builds, nothing too surprising right now. 2 Bluestones, but you see on the Going Ghost side, the Odin causes them 2 shells. But yeah, unfortunately, this Odin is also going into the solo lane. I think that, like I said, I think this brings down the potential of this Lahunga comp down quite substantially.
The one thing that I saw immediately, and I am shocked by, is there is not a single Sunder in this game. And that could be because Vulcan could be their objective secure. Same thing with maybe Neath. That could be their way to get these objectives locked down for respectable teams. But I just cannot believe that there's not a single Sunder here. I mean, it's a great offensive tool. I understand that the shell has been forced on Going Ghost, but La Jungla going for all beads, even King Balrus getting beads here is Geb? What in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I must be pretty scared of that Cupid ult. It's
true.
But personally, yeah, I think you should at least be picking up Sunder, at least on at least one of the tanks, you know? Me personally, I don't think that, you know, this Geb, or not the Geb, the Odin needs, you know, beads, and to at least, we see a mispluck there by Turco. Yeah, I don't think he needs it. Like, I know you don't have CC immunity, but realistically, in the solo lane when you're building full defense, it's going to be incredibly hard for you to die anyway.
I would love to see a Stampede come from King Balrus pretty early, because there's a lot of slows on the side of Going Ghost. You have Lurking in the Waters, big AoE slow. Same thing with Cupid, big AoE slow on Fields of Love. There's just so many slows over there that Stampede would just be such a huge item getting, you know, first or second picked up.
Yeah, Stampede probably, I would say, watching Smite Prime yesterday, that was probably like top 2 most popular support items.
True.
Outside of like I saw like Speak No Evil just pick that item up every game, and it's just so safe. You know, you can disengage from objectives. You can give you good chase down value as well. It's just a good item, especially, you know, in this comp of like, you know, lockdown.
That and Spirit Robe are like the 2 most picked items. Sobek does force the beads on Light for that charge prey. Very nice beads pull indeed. But here comes Humbats putting a little bit of pressure on King Balrus, but that Stone Shield will make sure that he does not meet his maker just yet. First blood not suffered, but La Jungla does lose that neutral farm to Going Ghost.
Also, going into this, there's not a lot of healing into these comps, especially like, in my opinion, outside of like Chalk, I think most of the healers in this game are kind of unplayable. At least mainly because Brawl is just a good item, as Light Burb getting deep in there, shell forced.
Goodness, great knockup from Get. Yeah, but will they be able to find the last take? Yes, they do. The light takes down Turco. Gonna be first blood for La Jungla, but here comes Hunbat looking for a bit of revenge. Heart Bomb locks down King Boris, and Blackout takes care of the scraps. Does find a kill, looking for another, but Agnidash gets him to potential safety. No somersault online, and not enough mana to use it, but out of nowhere, here comes the mid laner. Great rotation over. Neath takes down the light, and 2 kills on the board for Going Ghost.
It's not as a rotation you see very often there from the Neath, chasing all the way under. That was but people don't realize how long of a pathing that is in the early game.
Yeah.
Basically went up almost across the entire map. Unfortunately, most of the time that ends up not paying off for you as a mid laner. It does help your dueling just a little bit, but you're putting yourself like very behind, which as a Neath is something you don't want to do. As you can see, he puts him like about a half level behind. Probably not even that much of a gold lead, as you see the Odin shell forced out of here out of Ivory Macaroon.
That's smart. That's really nice. I mean, he probably would have lost his life because, look, here comes Bologna, and then Eagles Rally would have been an easy target because he's locked in the cage, but Eagles Rally connects anyway. Fear no evil in response. Big Black Banana in trouble, but Saturo able to find the kill. Macaroon is dead. Blackout finds revenge on Bologna, still chasing down on Odin, but that darn mid laner is here yet again. Amazing presence from their mid laner. Zeno doing a great job of just moving around the map and doing what, you don't really see this too often in Crete. Usually you see people stuck in lane and kind of farming away, doing what they do, but plucked down. Balrus in big trouble, gets charged prayed and stick with a heart bomb, but he's able to make it back to the safety of the tier 1 tower. He's doing A-okay and back to farming over in duo, but solo lane lost a couple kills to Going Ghost.
Yeah, mid laner doesn't have to rotate that far. He's just coming out of base. Honestly, he gets that kill and an assist, and he swipes away that mid lane camp. So Flamio's gonna do something to be able to control this Neath that's able to rotate so often. At least get the neutral farm. You can't just be letting the Neath rotate everywhere and lose your neutral farm. Like, go for that red buff. Go for a ward camp or a back camp. Get some value out of these ganks, especially because Vulcan, you don't want to rotate that often anyway. Because number one, it takes your damage a little bit to get online, and you're more of a lame bully. You're not like Neath, you can rotate and get value all over the map anyway. So he needs to be getting some sort of value from this Neath just being so active on the map.
One thing I want to hear your opinion on, because I feel like this is one of the most controversial conversations as far as jungling goes. I know you're in touch with a lot of the big dogs at the top, the Smite Prime champions and such. You're at a point where you call Week1 Kurtz. I love to tease that about you, but yeah. So you know a lot what a lot of these high level players think. What do you think about the Sunbats, the Hunbats aspect? Is it a good pickup here? Guess we'll find out as Hunbats is rotating over. Charge Spray does hit King Boris, followed by the Fields of Love. Heart Bomb does good damage as well. The Rainfire just doesn't really hurt too bad. And in response, Boris is taken down. An extra kill for Going Ghost. So I'm assuming the answer, yeah, it's pretty helpful because they just got a kill out of it. But what do you think? Is it a worth pickup? Do you think it's good?
Actually, it's just a preference. Say your team comp lacks CC. There's nothing wrong with your Humbats picking up just an extra form of CC, especially into a stun, as Saturo is gonna be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, that's bad news bears for sure. That's big damage, but it doesn't stop them from going for that Gold Fury. Balrus just now getting out of base, and Flamo doesn't have an objective secure with that ultimate down. Maybe he can throw a straight meatball, but Bologna putting focus, or he getting jumped onto. That's bad news for sure. Mordred and Solo taking care of Agni. And another kill being suffered as Flamo's in the grave. Balrus just now showing up, and he's like, what the heck happened to my team? No Sunder in pocket, no way to secure that objective. It's going to go for free to Going Ghost. And they got a couple kills in the process. Talk about a way to run this early game.
Yeah, Jungla's just getting out-rotated right now. Normally you don't see the solo laner, rotate so often or so early, especially in here. But it's just, it gets value. As long as you're getting value there from, Robocop or Ivory Macaroon, it's just gonna be more valuable, especially near these objectives. Banana, unfortunately, it's just getting a little bit out-rotated here. It looks like he's getting a little bit pounded from the Hunbats as well. So yeah, Gold Fury goes along to Going Ghost.
That damage is nuts from the Hunbats. He does have a bit of a level advantage. He's got Hydras online already. He is just doing huge damage. Charge Spray doesn't connect. The light is very, very comfortable under that tower. Walrus shielding himself up. He doesn't want to get poked down too hard. A lot of aggression from Neath pressing up on Vulcan over and middle over a bit of neutral farm. A lot of aggressive play from both sides. Going Ghost seems to be getting the upper hand on most of it, but Jungla not giving up just yet. Here comes the ultimate from Xeno, looking for somebody in solo. Maybe the Odin. Odin does get hit. Solo chasing him down. Mordred looks for the kill, jumping on in. Here's the somersault in. Looking for something. Is Blackout going to be able to find a kill? Yes, they are. Odin almost jumps out, almost made it back, but Fear No Evil prevented him from doing so. Saturo is in very big trouble. Jumping on in, somersault looking for another kill, but instead Turco is going to pick that one up for himself. Regardless, 2 kills going towards Going Ghost. Cupid left all by himself. Geb walking up, looking for a shockwave. Beads forced, and the Cataclysm does not matter. It is beads out, but still pressing hard. Rainfire found the very butt end of it. Keb is dead. Bad news for sure for Going Ghost, but the lead overall still remains in Going Ghost's pocket. But the rotation for the teleporter might be changing that up quickly. Going Ghost looking to make that maybe 12 kills as Gab and Agni are in trouble. Moving on through, Hunbats does not have, oh, he does have the Fear No Evil online already? What in the world? Do we make something happen here? Rotating through the Gold Fury pit, trying to get rollout out of there. Maybe Agni dashes through. Vulcan's in a really rough spot. Charge Prey online, does find the pluck. Stone Shield does not save him. Gets plucked down, lurking in the waters, looking for the sub execute. He's not able to find it. Xeno takes care of him instead. Great kill indeed, but the fight still continues over these Harpies. The Oracle's in the middle lane. The Light takes down Turco. A little low on health, but around the backside, there's Neath. Cobb's able to take down the Light. Another couple kills. Double kill for Cobb. King Balrus joins his dual laner in the grave. Looking for another on Saturo again in a bad position. Fear No Evil locks him down. Cobb jumps in for the triple. Another couple kills for Going Ghost and just deathballing around the map and finding that early aggression in spades.
So it's just Going Ghost just all over the map right now. They're just out rotating. Flamio and Big Black Banana have literally not left their lane, while you can't keep Going Ghost out of theirs. This Neath is causing a lot of issues, just being able to, just rotate, hit a stun. Obviously, it's just Neath. She does a lot of damage in general, but you need to. The main team fight presence is honestly not participating in these fights here for Jungla, and if you're going to be rotating this early, you need your fight winners. You need your Odin Cage, and you need to have your follow-up Vulcan on top of that. So they just need to stop the bleeding right now. Honestly, I don't think the goal lead's too bad for how bad they're playing some of these fights right now. So they just need to re-sustain just a little bit. As they can do that, I think they'll be just fine. But we can't let it get too out of hand. And I think this next Gold Fury might just be the fight winner or the game decider here, because if it gets too out of hand, I think there's just going to be no shot to recover.
Yeah, 4K gold lead for a 10 kill difference. I don't feel like that's massive. Maybe 1 or 2 Gold Furies if Jungla can seem to get things together could make things a little bit easier. The only problem is I don't know how they're going to operate around these objectives if 1, they can't seem to win fights, and 2, they don't have objectives secured. Charge Prey forces the Light under tower. Eagles rally in response, looking for a stun but could not find it. Didn't hit the mark. Cobb getting a lot of pressure from Bologna, but still able to find the kill on Agni. The Light has been turned to darkness, and the rest of Jungla now backing things up. But Vulcan's diving deep here. Look at Vulcan, pathing aggressive. Vulcan ult goes out, does not do enough damage to take down Cobb. The turret does not find him either. Charge Prey, maybe looking for something here. Neath ult in response, beats forced from Flamo, having to backfire away. Roll out, looking to save his friend. Phantom Shell force from the Sobek. Are we looking for a kill? Do we back things up? Very low health bars on the side of Going Ghost, but response, here's Neath. Yet again, Xeno just seems to be everywhere where there's action. Does find the Spirit Arrow, locks out Flamo, 100 health to his name, not even. Oh my god, he almost died there. Great rotation from Xeno, but we might be making his maker. Saturo getting locked down. The stun bats is locking down Saturo. He's forced under that tier 1 tower, having to go back to base. Same thing with King Balrus. Flamo just now getting back to the tower as well. And Balrus is still here in lane. So is the Light, just now coming back out of the fountain. 4K health on the Gold Fury as it's getting sieged by Going Ghost. Balrus walking up, does have Cataclysm almost online if he wants to secure, but no Sunder, nothing to secure with Flame Wave. Just a tad bit late on the mark, and Cobb secures the second Gold Fury for Going Ghost.
Yeah, we can't. Big mistake there from Jungla there. You can't just give up that Gold Fury with no repercussion. Almost every ult in the book was just gone for GG, and we gotta realize that their ult economy is kind of low, and we have kind of higher, even if it costs Balrus's life, we got to get in there, at least cause some sort of disruption, because we know they
Yeah.
have no ults and they're low HP. We got to be more aggressive there. Um, but again, this Neath in the mid lane just causes a lot of problems. He missed his backflip on the weave there. Unfortunately, he would have picked up a kill there on Flamio, but he's still playing this very well, being incredibly active. And so is Mr. TTV Blackout here, as if we have a dead Vulcan in the mid lane.
Jesus. That damage is nuts. 6-0 and 7 on Blackout right now. The damage is huge. Same thing with Xeno, right behind Blackout on the player damage chart. Just a little bit short. One fight might change that. Dude, they are going crazy right now. Going Ghost are going nuts. But La Jungla not out of this game just yet. What is their order of operations if they want to start winning some of these fights?
It has to come to the rotation, start of these team fights. As soon as the Odin gets into these team fights, I feel like that's got to be your go button, and not walking into a Sobek execute range like Mr. Sothro just did.
Yeah, that's bad news for sure. Fear No Evil did put him out. King Ball was trying to save him with a stone shield, but it did not work out. Odin Cage is locked down, trying to force out some members of Going Ghost, but nothing is going to stop them from getting under that tier 1 tower. Almost able to find a kill on King Baller's 100 health to his name. Turco able to find a kill on Flamo, instead left for scraps. Feel No Evil forced out. Meanwhile, in the duo lane from Cobb, trying to put some pressure onto the light, but the light just dashes on back to the tower thanks to the help of the beads. And a lot of aggression just all across the map. They're looking to hit the gas pedal with the lead that they have, getting 2 Gold Furies already. Pyromancer's next on the list, and checkmark, there it goes. Easy W for Going Ghost so far, but La Jungla, again, not out of this yet. But the lead is making it not look so good for them. 7K gold lead for Going Ghost, as well as 15 extra kills on the scoreboard. I mean, what a wild advantage to have already.
See level leads across the board from that as well. The closest gap is in the solo lane. That's just because the Odin hasn't been rotating at all. It's been in this lane of farming. But yeah, you see a 2-level lead in the jungle, around a 2-level lead in the solo or in the mid lane, and then 2-level leads everywhere else. So the level lead's starting to get out of hand just a little bit as well. The next thing on the map is probably going to be this Gold Fury. So we need to resustain, get a little bit of farm up, try to get our next spike here. You see the Addy gonna get his oboe online, looking like the Vulcan's going for an early op shard here. So early pen online for the Vulcan is never bad.
Yeah, that is absolutely great because, like you mentioned, we're in a bit of a tank meta right now. A lot of tanks are very strong at the moment, and you need to be able to take them off the map if you want to be able to win these fights. Sure, Gino's doing a great job. So is Blackout. They do have the player damage top 1 and 2. But look at this, 4 members over here from Going Ghost. Saturo almost getting caught out, but looks like they're making it to the teleporter. They're going to turn around and fight here. Odin presses up just a little bit, feels the love, force out, Flame Wave as well. Fear No Evil puts a lot of pressure on the light in the back line. Odin Cage forced out, Volcano does not connect. Zeno takes down the light, over the wall, somersault in, and could not find the Subex Q, but still able to find the kill on Saturo. 4 kills down to the blink of an eye. La Jungla bodies are left in the duo lane, and Going Ghost have their eyes on Flamo or the Gold Fury. I think they're going to decide to back things up because they are a little low on health. They got plenty of time to reset, though, and then make their way towards the Gold Fury pit and cash in their 3rd one of the game.
I wouldn't stop at Gold Fury right now. I'd say this Fire Giant should be pretty free for Going Ghost, and I don't think Lahunga's going to realize that they're on top of it because there's, number one, no wards on the map.
Yeah.
So I think this Fire Giant should be just completely free for GG. The only
True.
hope they have at stealing it is probably a Vulcan ult, and I don't know if it's going to be up in time for this before this even burns down.
A very smart man named Glacier once told me that if you want help winning team fights, you grab Fire Giant. If you need help clearing structures, you grab Gold Fury. Now, they haven't really been doing a whole lot of sieging yet, but they have been absolutely blowing through these team fights, and Fire Giant buff will make sure that they do that even better than they already have. Meanwhile, Fear No Evil forced out from Blackout in order to take down Flamo, who was a little out of position all by himself, probably looking for a Volcano to maybe steal that Fire Giant away, but couldn't find it. Meanwhile, King Balrus gets plucked out and gets taken down. Xeno finds another kill, 2 bodies down on La Jungla as they press up against this tier 2 tower in the middle lane, and La Jungla don't have a response.
Yeah. this mid Phoenix should be pretty free if they choose to elect to go to it. but looks like they want to back up and do the Gold Fury. You know, maybe it is an Ancient Fury, so I guess that doesn't really matter. But it's just free, you know, team gold. Once they get this, it'll be a 10k gold lead. I think Jungla just needs to spread out just a little bit, clear the map out just a little bit. But you know, we should be, you know, splitting. We'd be getting Pyromancer here. We should be getting towers in mid, at least something to try and stop the bleeding here a little bit. Get us some team-wide gold, and help us at least be in some position to fight right here. As you can see, the lights looking like he's going to start a Pyro. But yeah, I don't know if he can solo that, but looks like he's going to try.
That could be their only way. Hopefully he doesn't solo. Thank God he's got a little bit of help from the rest of the team. But Jungla needs to realize, hey, our left side is getting sieged very, very quickly. And if we put all this focus on Pyro, well, who's going to defend the left lane? Nobody for now, as the tier 2 tower gets taken down very quickly. But Balrus, Flamo, and the Light all backing up quickly. Saturo looking to join them. And 5 hungry members of Going Ghost looking. They're breathing down the throat of this Phoenix, looking to take this off the map very quickly. Great damage from Neath. Volcanolt goes out. Great Cataclysm. Wait a minute. This is a great fight for Jungla. The Light able to take down one. And Sobek having to use Lurking in the Water to get out. Fear No Evil is forced to back off Jungla. A great defensive ultimate from Blackout as they back things up and maybe make their way towards going towards the fountain, heal up, and then maybe try this siege again in a little bit. But great job from both sides there. Going Ghost found a little bit of structure damage, and Jungla able to find their first successful fight in a minute.
That's the classic Crete throw that everybody will tell you about. You know, we lock up, we walk up, not knowing what to do, and then we all eat all Vulcan straight to our face. Honestly, if that was 5 minutes into the future, they all die. But luckily, this Vulcan doesn't have pen yet, so only one of them dies, Mr. Ivory Macaron 55. So Dagger now in the hands of Saturo, 3 levels down still, but this death allows him to be able to like get a little bit of farm out on the right side of the map, and now we're back to a stalemate. Only 60 seconds left on fire. Let's see if they try to do anything with it, but no objectives on the map. They're gonna have to take a neutral fight somewhere, and it looks like they're gonna start springing towards this right lane.
I don't know if I'd call it a stalemate. There's 20 extra kills on the board. I don't want to argue with you here. I don't know. A stalemate just makes it seem like it's even, and this game feels far from even. Jungla's still showing light. And I'm not just talking about the Light, our carry here. We're talking about the light at the end of the tunnel, as Jungla can maybe make their way. If they can have a couple more successful defenses like that, they could quite potentially, you know, do okay in some of these fights and maybe find a W later down the road. As this game goes on, Going Ghosts are going to lose the lead they have now. Eventually, it's just going to come down to 3K pots. Everybody will be full build, and that's really what Jungla is looking for. But Going Ghosts might not let it get that late as they look to take down this tier 2 tower in solo lane. That will take all towers off the map for Jungla, and nothing but birds defend their Titan room.
But even though they're getting these towers, I like to see what Santro's doing. He's over here splitting, pushing up a little bit of waves. They might get this mid tower. You know, he does have a little bit of a safety cord because he does just have the dagger. So if like somebody tries to 1v1 him, he's gonna have that outlet out. But they don't know he's over here because they don't have any wards. Gold Fury's up in about 30 seconds. They're not gonna have fire for it, so I'm interested to see how they play this fight out. But looking like they're gonna spread out and get a little bit of farm here and try to prep up for it.
That could be the move. 21 minutes in, 25 kills on the board, 4 Going Ghosts and 5 for Jungla. Bit of a rough situation for the Order side, but there's still a bit of life left in them. Not giving up just yet. No surrender votes on the board. I mean, that's definitely a good sign as far as mentality goes. Sometimes you'll see these lower level, even in higher level games, people will just get frustrated and you'll see surrender vote has been thrown up. And you know, obviously it's a joke because we're in comp, but some people just really do get frustrated like that. But Jungla seem to have their mentals in check, trying to hold on to whatever resources they can. Going Ghost not suspecting a stray Pyromancer, able to help them get just a bit of damage off on some of those structures left as the mid lane tower falls for Going Ghost. And that's bad news for them. No way Jungla are trying a fire right here. There's absolutely no way. Volcanolt is online to secure it, though. This could be their way to victory. Odin Cage trying to block off
Burning
Going
fast.
Ghost, but Banner Show goes through. Wait a minute. Blackout able to steal it away. I told y'all there's no way they get this through. Xeno able to find a kill on the light as well. Flamo joins him in the grave. Big Black Banana taken down by Cobb. 3 bodies in the grave so far. Xeno joins their friends, and Deicide in the blink of an eye. Quadra kill for Xeno, and surely they run it down from here.
Yeah, that's another classic throw there. You see Jungla, they get a little bit too aggressive on the objective. It's burning fast, but we gotta have at least some sort of like awareness that we probably need to fight on this, because they're not just gonna let us pull it for free, because Going Ghost is just so far ahead. So yeah, they get out, they lose the fire because they don't drop it and it's too low HP to do anything with, and they all get decided by a Neath. So yeah, they don't play the best. They don't play that end fight the best for Jungla, and Going Ghost storms their way to victory.
My opinion, if I were in Jungla's shoes and I know that we need to fight for that fire giant, what I'm going to do with my team, we're going to camp in that bush next to fire. We're going to look for somebody, maybe Xeno, take him off the map because he just fragged out that game. Same thing with Blackout. Take one of their high value targets out quick and then try and fight the rest of the team fight from there and hope that you come out on top. But taking down a high value target when they least expect it is probably the smartest move from there. They don't really have an in because there's no Cersei's, there's no blink, there's no way to like really catch somebody off guard like that. But should somebody not ward that bush, and this is Crete that we're talking about, so there's a pretty high chance of that happening. Should somebody step out just a little bit, take advantage of them from there, try and wipe out the rest of Going Ghost, and then go for the fire. Trying that fire, knowing that Going Ghost was showing up, expecting that you have that burn when you're that behind in a game. Wild play. I mean, I love the, for the lack of better words, ballsiness from Jungla, but I mean, there's just no way that works. That's like Avengers Endgame level of probability where Doctor Strange is like, there's 100 million different realities, and how many do we win? One. That was not the one, obviously.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't hate the call, but we have to realize, we kind of just left our Odin out there in no man's land. He caged up all 5, or all 4 of them, but his fire not burning fast enough. I mean, they have good burn. They have Bologna, they have Vulcan all for secure, and ID with his autos doing that tick damage, but they're just too far behind to be able to make a play like that and not try to like capitalize off of it in a fight. And it ended up costing them the game.
Well, for those of you who might not have gotten their fix on competitive Smite, good news, there's another game on the horizon, as this is a best of 3, but the question remains, will Going Ghost be able to sweep the set, or will Jungla have a bit better of a response to their aggression? We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back, but we'll see you in just a couple. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OSL Olympus Smite League. This is Morty on the mic, joined here by Riggz, the production extraordinaire, and next to me here in the booth is none other than JT. How are you feeling after game 1, JT?
Pretty good. I'm interested to see how Jungla adjusts to see, what they do. I'm assuming they're going to try and ban, some of the picks that Going Ghost was able to, secure, get them off those picks. But I'd also like to see it change up our own draft. Like I said, I like the Odin pick, but just not in the solo lane. If you're going to do that, pick it in jungle. I want to preferably let's not see that Bologna again. It got no value anywhere. Get Satoru on the more traditional, pick. So I would like to see some drafts adjustments from Jungla, and that's pretty much it.
So for those who had missed game 1 in its entirety, can you give us a bit of a flashback on what we might have missed?
Pretty much Going Ghost rotated around the map a lot. They ulted other lanes constantly, and then Jungla got ran down, and they had no answer, and then they had like a kind of Hail Mary play at the very end and it cost them the game. So that's
yeah, Hail Mary, interception, pick 6. It was a wild play that Jungla went forward, and I respect the ballsiness that they have to try and pull that off, but yeah, just did not work out. Pretty standard bans coming through. Chalk and Princess Bari, definitely standard, and picks that I don't want to see in the game. And Neath, very strong pick that Xeno took advantage of last game, so don't want to give that back to him. And Kabrakan taking off as well. That makes me believe that maybe they're going to go for an Agni pick again. That was probably the strongest player on their team, Light, with the Agni pick, so I would love to see that ran back with maybe a more fitting support for what the Light is trying to pull off with that Agni pick, and then just an overall, you know, a more comfortable team.
I'm interested to see what Going Ghost, you know, tries to snipe here, because it's, in my opinion, the second pick is better, and I don't think there's anything like super on the board here that Going Ghost is going to be able to play. To where, like, I think it's first pick worthy. They're going to snipe away the Agni. I don't hate that. Obviously, it's something that the Light felt comfortable on. Top pick Hunbats, I like that. Get Sathro on something a little bit more traditional as a jungler. And then I would, since, you know, we already know what our jungler is pretty much, let's just toss out that Odin and let's pick probably something more traditional for Banan. I know he's a Chalk player and he can't play much else other than Chalk. I don't hate this Cupid pick either. It's something I know Bird can play as well.
Cupid locked in, as well as Hunbats for Laungla. Putting a lot more respect on the Hunbats pick. I definitely don't want to give that back to Blackout, so really love that they picked that one up quick, but I just hope that Satudo was able to take advantage of how powerful that Hunbats is. I know that we talked about earlier in Picks and Bans last game that he might not be as strong of a god now that tanks are a little bit more prevalent, but I feel that Hunbats, especially with that stunning aspect, is still going to be able to take advantage of a lot of these backliners on the side of Going Ghost. So Merlin getting locked in for Going Ghost, as well as Sobek, which was a great pick for them last game.
Yeah, I love this Going Ghost comp so far as just the duo lane. You're turbo aggressive here. And then you see over here, Jungla goes off with the Ares. Obviously a good counter pick I like into the Sobek, but early game it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, mainly because it's very hard to time the chains and into a Sobek pluck if you were to try and counter that. So, but late game it'll be better because, you know, as the game progresses, Sobek kind of falls off, and being able to chain them up gets a little bit easier. So I kind of like how these two comps are like kind of like counteracting each other. Super aggression and Going Ghost, and then on Jungla you got like kind of like anti-aggression, you know, a lot of like beads burning and Cupid and Ares and Mordred, and then you have like some super hyper aggressive, you know, carry potential in the Hunbats.
Big fan of the Ares, big fan of the Mordred, very high lockdown, very team fight focused comp on Laungla. Meanwhile, on the side of Going Ghost, Ymir locked in along with Sobek, which leads me to believe this could be a solo back and Ymir's support, and then a Willix on the same side as well. One god I do not see very often, especially in competitive. I guess that's a decent counter pick for the Hunbats. Other than that, I mean, there's not even that many knockups on the side of Going Ghost. That seems like a curveball from Blackout here.
Yeah, you don't see it very often because this character sucks.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
It does no damage. You're only picking this just for the sole hope of Robo hits a pluck end game and you're able to pluck off, you know, an Ares who's going to be immobile. So if that's the only reason you're picking this, and if it works out, good for you. If it doesn't, you know, it's gonna not be good. This character just does no damage. The only good thing is like your ult's kind of on like a low cooldown. You get that down to like a 40-second cooldown most of the time. That's about the only positive that you have in a Willix.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's definitely some pros and cons to every god, but it just seems like Willix is maybe not the strongest pick for, not just like out of all junglers in general, but just even in this comp, this seems like just something that I don't know, maybe what this could be is Blackout looking to handicap himself and potentially give Laungla game 3 and then pop off from there. I would feel a little bit bad after what happened in game 1 if I were Laungla. So yeah, I kind of get the potential mercy rule behind wanting to pick an Willix here, but other than that, I'm shocked at what we're looking at. But we've got 5-on-5 here, 10 gods selected, JT. And based off of what we're seeing, who do you think is going to be taking game 2?
I think I like LaHungla's comp just a little bit better, just because it has so much lockdown and damage, and that in this meta at least that should be better. But I think just going off of game 1, it's going to be hard for me to say that Going Ghost isn't going to win, just because they did win 30-5 in the kill advantage. But I just want to see, I want to see this dual lane play super back. I don't want him to feed early. I saw Burb, dash in a few more times than what he shouldn't have. Um, just play the duel. You're not gonna have pressure against Acne, Ymir. Just play back, play till you hit 5, and then once you hit 5, you can try to make a play. And I think they can win that game off of that.
True. Very true. I see a lot of pick potential from Going Ghost. If you load into game 2 here, Going Ghost versus La Jungla. Game 1 did go to Going Ghost, and La Jungla are looking to maybe put on a bit better of a response than what we saw in game 1. Maybe a closer fight would be it would be awesome to see. I don't think that La Jungla's ruled out, maybe mentally, but as far as the odds, I think they've got every chance in the world, especially based on how these team comps lined up. I think they did a great job of explaining that. But I can't help but wonder, we asked this question in game 1, and I want to see how that answer differentiates. How does the optimal team fight for La Jungla look like? What exactly are they looking to do? Are they front to back? What are their pros? How do the team fights rule for them?
You're you want to, number one, you want to initiate with an Ares ult most of the time and see what kind of econ you can pull from the other team. And then once that's the case, if your Ares survives that, then you want to play a little bit of a front to back game. Split up the fight just a little bit. Ares chain the diver, and then drop that Cupid ult down on whoever may step up. Like I said, it's kind of like a split kind of feel. You can play really aggressive with Mordred and Ares, but you can also play kind of like very far back and let get that Cupid ult and Vulcan poke, just be a little bit optimal.
Not a chance that Going Ghost finds first blood here. There's just no way that Black Banana is down. Oh, Jungla finds first blood over in duo as Agni's taken off the map. Light able to find it. Pluck back, charge prey, locking down Banana, and Blackout's able to find a kill of their own over in solo. Eye for an eye situation between the lanes.
Yeah, luckily that kill over on the duo lane, you get a little bit more value out of it because you had to rotate over there for the jungler in the case of Going Ghost. So a little bit of a positive there for Lohunga. You get first blood, and you got it without your jungler rotating. So slightly W right there. You get the first blood bounty, and your jungler was out getting value, while the other one was over there splitting a kill. So slightly advantage early game there to Lohunga.
That's good. That's good news. They need that advantage going forward because I'm sure mentally they might feel just a tad defeated after how game 1 went down. So any type of advantage that they can grab will probably make them feel a little bit better. Going Ghost might be getting caught out. Zeno's in a bit of a bad position, not able to dash away in time. Somersault did take Satoru in, but he is trying to escape out from the aggression that Blackout is here with. But Blackout not able to find a kill, makes it back to the jungle. Try and farm back up and hit level 5. That's when Willis really becomes a character. These fights in the mid lane mean nothing right now because neither Satoru nor Blackout are level 5 yet. Both of these gods really show up and show out with ultimates, but before that point, these feel like mediocre ganks.
Yeah, neither of these characters are like super early game based, especially like you're going hum bats. You don't have that. You're not going stun bats, so right. You kind of lose that early game pressure that you normally would have by having that extra bit of CC. So once you hit level 5 as this hum bat, you'll start to see him get a little bit aggressive.
That would be good news for sure to have that Fear No Evil online. Satoru going to have a lot of damage coming out of late game because of that lack of the aspect. Stun Bats might have an extra hard CC in kit, but does not have as much damage. So glad to see the aspect. I like how it comes and goes. I feel like that's how aspect should be, depending on how you want to play things out. And I'm glad to see, make in and out of the set. That's an interesting way for aspects to be looked at. Putting a little more an analytical focus on dual lane right now. I'm a really big fan of King Balrus's Ares pick, but Lord Turco found a great counter pick with the Ymir. Ares is known for that early game aggression, really just able to come into the lane swinging with the Chains and Flames combo, but I feel like Ymir is one of the few supports in the game that can match that early game pre-5 level aggression.
Yeah, while it's happening, you saw the mid rotate over there and steal that purple buff away. I like that our mid is now actually rotating, a little bit early, but we don't
True.
commit a lot. We got that purple buff over there, so we're getting value across the map. We get our red buff, and it looks like Satoru is going to be heading towards his blue buff. I was thinking he's going to head to the opposing blue buff for a second, but it's like he's looked like he's going to stay and get his own blue. But I like early game being played a lot better here by Jungla. Like I said, I wouldn't have expected them to be able to win this lane so hard in duo as they have, but they're playing it very well. But gank over here on Big Black Banana.
Into the lurking in the waters, but could not find this. Will execute. Pursue the weak, takes Morgan into the air. There goes his escape tool, and there goes his life to follow. Blackout finds a kill for Going Ghost. Now 1 kill up. The gold lead isn't there. We're 5 minutes in. Actually, there's a bit of a gold lead for Longla. I guess they're farming just a little bit better, which is good. I mean, the gold lead is almost non-existent. It's hard to talk about at this point. So pretty even across the board for both teams so far. But at this point, last game, Longla was decisively losing, and Going Ghost had a huge advantage. So this is a step in the right direction for Longla. Going Ghost not able to find that early game lead like they did last time. Frost Breath does not connect. Ares is a little out of position, but feels a love, followed by the no escape. Might be putting Turco in the grave. Fear no evil. In response, Ymir slowed down, but here's the follow-up from Blackout. He's here, and he's ready for a pull, but no knockup. Nothing ready for him to initiate off of. Guess it's going to be a stalemate. But here comes Sobek. Rotation from the solo laner. Dude, what is going on with these rotations in this game? How in the world? Ice Ball cannot be beats, though, Cupid. The light is in the grave. Blackout finds a kill. The third for Going Ghost so far. Doing great already.
Yeah, just a lot of miscommunication there on the side of Lehungla. Like, first of all, we're overlapping our ults. We Cupid ult into an Ares ult, and then we Humbats ult, and then we just stand there and do nothing on it. Should have been should have saw a dead Ymir right there, but just couldn't do anything with it. And then we saw so Ivory Macaroon rotate here early. Uh, he's gonna place a ward right there, but that ward does not reveal anybody in the bush, as you have to be in the bush to be able to see it. But now they see that they ward the bush now. Robo knows he's cooked, so he's gonna get out of here. But Robo's losing out of a lot of farm right here. You see him being an early level down. Great beads there from Satoru there.
That was very smart indeed. Charge Prey would have ended your life because you already had used the somersault. So great response on the beads from that points. Really liking how this game's turning out so far. Longla still looking better than they did last game. They do have a bit of a gold lead, which is good. But Going Ghost do have a couple kills on the board that might be taking Longla's mental down just a tad, which can't really be affected any more than it already has based off of how game one went down. Longla still well and alive, though, farming well. They're taking advantage of the fact that they're not down as bad as they were in game one. But this first Gold Fury might change that up pretty quickly. Longla making their way over. Ymir and Cobb just don't seem to mind as of yet, but the Gold Fury not getting dropped right now. We're going to go for that purple buff instead. Maybe we'll put our eyes on that objective a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'd like to see Lahung look a little bit aggressive here. You see, Cobb does not have beach for another 20 seconds, so we could see good value here be able to get pulled off. But now we get they dash away. Now you can see them maybe drop back towards this Gold Fury, but that's going to allow the ID to get his beads back up. Or they could see this Merlin, who's venturing in the no man's land right now for no reason.
For no reason. You might be getting caught out here. Merlin's in a bit of trouble. Satoru is in the grave. Zeno takes him down quickly. Heart Bomb doesn't stun. And Merlin's looking for safety under the tier 1 tower in duo. Here comes Ymir to try and intervene. 3 bodies of Longla in the enemy jungle. Great tally over there. Does stop the no escape. Ivory Macaroon does find a kill over in solo. But the fight continues in the left side jungle. Going Ghost in big trouble. Going to the grave is Ymir. Another body from Longla. Doing a great job there. Wild to see this aggression across the board from both teams. 5 kills on the board for Going Ghost and 2 for Longla.
That's how that was all going on. You saw a solo kill from the Sobek on the right side of the map. But yeah, I like how that was played there from Lahungla. You get the beads out of the Merlin. Honestly, if Cupid had his passive stacked up on that Merlin, you would have saw that Merlin die as well. But not the end of the world. You do trade 2 for 1, unfortunately. But the kill does go into Lord Turk. I think they could have pulled that Gold Fury maybe. If the Ares does have good sustain with his mystical, giving a lot of HP, and his 2, which does heal you and the entire team. it would have been a risky pull, but I don't think GG would have been expecting it, so it could have been free. As you saw, you know, the person that normally rotates towards the Gold Fury, Ivory Macaroon, wasn't over there.
So a little bit of farming going on between both teams. This crystalline egg is going to get pulled from the Queen Naga by Going Ghost. Bit of an early bit of help with sieging, which is nice. That's good. The Going Ghosts are going to need all the help they can get. They do have a decent amount of structure damage between Cobb and Cobb. It's just Cobb. Without Cobb, they have a pretty hard time taking down towers, but that'll help for sure.
They do have good, even though towers aren't an option, they do have good objective burn. You know, Merlin's always going to be the good. You just put off all your dots on there, and then Cobb obviously is going to be a burning away bro. But we do have action in dual lane.
Good pluck down. Fields of Love, followed by the Fear No Evil. Going to be locking down Cobb. Bad news for him. Lord Turco trying to take the side lane out, but I don't think he's going to make it out. Great 3-man Frost Breath, but it will not save your life. Overhead smash followed by a Heart Bomb will be taking down Turco. 2 kills suffered by Going Ghost in the duo lane, but there is a bit of fighting happening in solo as well. Is this just some innocent slap boxing, or will Sickening Strike put Big Black Banana in the grave? Charge Prey not online, not able to pluck Mordred under that tier 1 tower. Bit of fighting happening in middle lane as well. Vulcan out trying to maybe save his own life, but Flamo decisively in the grave. Here comes Saturo, able to find the 3. Jumping in, overhead smash does good damage, but on to Soko you go, and away into the jungle you will remain. Blackout not able to fight up against that Pyromancer, getting taken by the middle lane here. But around the corner, Ivory Macaroon, maybe he's going to be going for a pluck. Maybe he's going to be going for an invade. Great tail whip, does a bit of distraction as the rest of Going Ghost does show up. Out of nowhere, here comes the Pursue of the Week, taking Lord Turco on for a ride. Great Frost Breath. A lot of ultimates being suffered through. Heart Bomb does good damage. Wait a minute, that Pyromancer's low, able to take it away. Zeno secures it for Going Ghost. Blackout finds a kill as well. Trying to chase past this Pyro. La Jungla on the run, but jumping in, Zuko does. Here he goes. Blackout finds another kill, triple to be exact, on the light, and Going Ghost running around this map and exactly how game 1 went, just killing and taking everything in their path.
I don't know what we're doing here on La Jungla. We just turned what should have been a free Gold Fury. You get 2 picks in dual lane with the jungler on that side of the map and a full HP support. Then we turned it into diving, trying to save our mid laner who was dead anyway. And we lose that on gold and pyro, and 4 of our teammates are dead. Yeah, that's pretty much as bad as you can play it as what La Jungla just did.
Yeah, that's bad news for sure for La Jungla. I think it's just a weird, how do I put this? PEMDAS, right? Like PEMDAS is like your order of operations. You need to be doing this first. This is your highest priority right now, and then this should be your next high priority. And because of this should be your high priority. I don't know. I just feel like they're not doing the right things. Like you said, Gold Fury could have been a very free burn, and they just got to kill and do it. Wait a minute. Whoa. Cobb is out of position. Force the beads. Fear No Evil does. Arturo able to back things up. Great resource pull. We'll come back later for your life instead, but just know that your beads are not online, so you better be careful.
It's never bad to get, toss the beads out of your Agni, which is, honestly, when you have beads and dash up as an Agni, it's very hard to, die on it just because it is so safe, and you don't have any walls on the side of La Jungla to stop them. Mm-hmm. So, good swipe of the beads there. They seem to be sitting on this dual lane just quite a bit. As you can see, Balrus has his ult available now. No beads on the Agni. This could be still trouble.
Triple beads, triple chains onto the Agni, and no beads able to get him out. So he's going to get chained up. He's going to lose a decent amount of damage. But here's Zeno looking for a rotation yet again on this duo lane. King Baller is trying to back things up. He doesn't want to get hit by that Frost Breath, but the light suffers instead. Rotation from Sobek. Great tally. Stops the no escape from pulling anyone. Putting a little bit more focus on this wave. We want to shove those minions under tower and maybe walk away with that tier 1 tower for Going Ghost. 4 members of Going Ghost here. Fields of Love looking to stop them from going towards that tower, but it's only going to do so much. Great stun from the Frostbath. King Baller is just a little bit out of position. Does get taken advantage of and melted down by Zeno. Here comes Blackout as well. 5-man Roto on this tier 1 tower. walk into it. Okay, I guess our tanks aren't that tanky right now, so we wait for minions, but they don't live long because backfire and turret from Vulcan just melt that wave through. Here we go. Sobek diving in, does not find the charge prey. Fear no evil in response, trying to find the stun. Frostbeth does not connect. Cobb doing decent damage. Rainfire doesn't hurt too bad. A lot of low health bars on both sides, and Going Ghost seem to back things up and maybe go for some camps. What was that rotation? What are we going for here? Just steal some camps away, Blackout, why don't you? While you're in the neighborhood, stop and smell the roses. Turco, you're all by yourself up there, big dog. What is this game? Wait a minute, that's a great pull. Gravity Surge takes on Toto out of the sky and puts him down with a crash landing. Pursue the weak, looking for Blackout, but great body block from Xeno. Blackout on the run, jumping over the wall. Does take a tower shot in response, and he will not lose his life. However, Xeno will, looking to save his friend. That's true friendship right there.
Yeah, you don't see many T1 tower sieges with 4-man rotation and duo lane. I would just say that's the first time I've seen a tier 1 tower siege in the history of Smite 2. You just have 4-man acting like it's a Phoenix siege at 30 minutes. I don't know why, but not a lot of value gotten. You lose. You do trade out 1-for-1, which isn't terrible. But yeah, you don't see those very often.
No, you don't. I can't help but wonder why. It just seems like with that many AoE ults on the side of La Jungla, there's just no way you press up that hard knowing there's a tower that your tanks can't handle because of how early in the game we are. 15 minutes in, to be exact. Going Ghosts have 11 kills on the board, and La Jungla with 5. Blackout does find a little bit of pressure from the enemy Mordred, Big Black Banan. W King forward, looking to present an opportunity to his team. Feel no evil goes on in. Satudo looking for a kill, and Ymir is a bit out of position. Turco getting melted down by the searing flesh. No escape, looking to pull him as well, but he does have the ultimate online to counteract. The shards of ice will lock him in place and prevent him from getting pulled by the no escape. Instead of looking for kills, we're going to put some more focus on this Gold Fury. Longo looking to take their first one away for the game. But around the corner is Solo Beck. And looks like we're going to be going for a pull. Big Black Banana doing a great job of zoning. The Gold Fury is dropped. We're going for kills instead. The Light takes down Turco. Great heart bond from him. Merlin doing great damage on the whole team. Huge AoE. Volcano from downtown does not connect. However, lurking in the waters, looking for a Sobek execute, and chop goes Balrus into the jaws of Sobek. Another kill for his side. One body down, ongoing Ghost, but they're still going in on the fight. Macaroon takes down another 3 dead bodies from La Jungla. Surround the Gold Fury pit. Xeno makes it 4, and La Jungla having 1 representative left. The Light not looking so bright as he hides under the safety of the tier 1, and the rest of Going Ghost make their way to the Gold Fury pit for a second token.
Yeah, so I like what La Jungla was trying to do there, at least to start out with. You know, you finally Big Black Banana rotates for an objective fight, but he just gets a little bit too deep in there. That could be on his team as well. Obviously, you don't want your soul laner just so far deep that, you know, he can't do anything. Unfortunately, he gets a pick there, and they just collapse on him. They come out a little bit too late. The Cupid ult doesn't find much value, and once that Cupid ult was down, you know, your team fight presence is kind of over because the Ares had already ulted, you know, to force out the ult from the Ymir, and so then as you can see there, the fight just got too spread out, and unfortunately, when you have a Merlin on the other side, a spread out team fight kind of favors that team because, you know, for like a full group, you know, the Vulcan will be like a little bit better because you do have like that massive ult that could hit multiple people. But
Right.
like for those split fights right there, the Merlin just like went to town, able to just, you know, single cast on multiple people because they were so spread out, and you saw that they were able to win that team fight and secure the Gold Fury.
It's a little bit of farming going on. Is that a lap spam from the Merlin here? Xeno really feeling himself in this game right now. Interesting indeed. Xeno definitely looking for this Queen Naga, but La Jungla is going to secure it away before Xeno is able to make his way to it. La Jungla just looking to hold on to whatever farm they can get their hands on. We're not picking at scraps just yet, but this isn't a 5-course meal. This is a Taco Bell $5 combo.
Yeah. But as we separate, we're 19 minutes in. This was around the time that Fire Giant was pulled last game. Obviously,
True.
the gold gap's just a little bit a little bit too narrow this game, at least, to be able to pull it right in front of Lahunga's faces. But
Right.
you do see the amount of wards that are skewed to that side, mainly around the pyro. It looks like they want to get an ulti on Flamio Beats Forced.
It's not just that. It's not just the narrow Gold Fury, which you're completely right about, but it's also the team comp that Jungla has. I mean, on paper, think about it. Pursue the Weak from Mordred. They got Fear No Evil from Saturo. There's a Vulcan ult. There's a No Escape from King Balrus and Fuels of Love. There's so much AoE. There's no way that these team fights don't go the way of Jungla if they can just maintain the gold deficiency that they have. If it keeps growing, then they can't fight at all because they're so behind in items. But just based on crowd control, just based on resources that they have and that they can pull, these team fights should be going their way.
Yeah, they do have a lot of big circles, and most of the time, big circles do win this game. Going Ghost getting super aggressive here, 5 strong up here towards the Phoenix line of Lahungla.
Yeah, this is wild to see. I just how we talked about it during picks and bans that Going Ghosts have a team comp that's a little more focused on pick potential, and they've been doing great at that so far. The ganks from Blackout have been pretty solid. Great rotations from Xeno. Their pick potential is pretty nasty, but even in these team fights, which should be going Lahungla's way, Jungla just can't seem to get a grip. They can't seem to find resources. They can't seem to make these fights work, even though on paper it seems like they should just be dominating.
I do like we split the map. We saw that there was 5 walking towards the Phoenix line for Going Ghost at least, and then Lahungla proceeds to try to split that map. They do get 2 T1s out of it, but Big Black Banana in a little bit of trouble here. He might looking like he might get an escape out of this one if he can get his ult up.
Lurking in the waters, not able to find the chomp, but Big Black Banana dashing on back. Great charge prey into the gravity surge, gets pulled to his death and put in the grave. Black Banana suffers another kill to Going Ghost. Oh my God, the aggression that these guys have is just wild to see. No letting off the gas pedal, no reason to stop now. Let's keep going until we see their Titan fall. Gold Fury might be first, however, as Xeno and Cobb are looking at this thing and waiting for their tank to show up. Neither of them want to tank it, but somebody's got to be the sacrificial lamb to the devastating strikes of the Gold Fury. It looks like it's going to be... No, it's not. I mean, there's a lot of members of Jungla there. Okay, I get that. Let's wait. We'll bide our time.
Don't wanna tank all your HP as a Merlin, especially when you're doing as much damage as Xeno is in these fights. Not optimal, and even if you do get the Gold Fury, it's liable that you lose out on the team fight afterwards, just because your hard carry of the game is going to be picked off or unable to fight at all. So I like that to just drop it, try to force a fight right here, especially since you see Big Black Banana in the right side off in no man's land again, while his team is trying to group up around the Gold Fury.
Yeah, now's the time where I understand that Jungla's down a little bit on levels. And now that we look at it, the levels don't even look that bad for Jungla. They're farming pretty well. The gold is not great. I mean, they're catching up in gold, all things considering. I mean, Going Ghosts have 10 kills and 2 Gold Furies on the map. Jungla still are only 5k down in gold. This might be a little bit more after this Gold Fury is taken down by Going Ghost, but I mean, they're farming pretty well. No, wait a minute. Fire Giant pull? We've tried this before, Jungla, but Going Ghost, all 5 members are pretty out of position, and this Fire Giant, it's not burning too fast. Maybe Saturo takes them for a bit of a distraction scenario. Going Ghost on the way. Wait a minute, Vulcan ult's here. Are they going to take it away? All right, take it and run. Flamo takes it down. Dagger in hand for King Balrus. Pursue the Weak. Takes them out of position. And Going Ghost had no way to respond to that. The first bit of life we've seen from Jungla in a hot minute. 3k gold lead for Going Ghost. That's even less than they were. They were at like 7 earlier. Now it's down to 3. Jungla showing a little bit more life.
Yeah, Sathiro's gonna lose his life out of there. And I've been telling teams to do this so much. If you can see that they're going to pull gold, there's no shame in trying to get fire. If Sathiro escapes it, that's absolutely criminal. And I would alt F4 if I was on the side of Going Ghost, because man, oh my goodness.
He is. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. That's why, tip to some teams, if you're gonna pull a Gold Fury past 20 minutes, we need to have at least some sort of wardage on fire, or we can split. We all can't 5 group up on the Gold Fury. We need some sort of vision or splitting on the other side of the map, because these objectives aren't that tanky. Even though they buff them to this point where they take a little bit longer to kill, they can still burn. Especially they have a Vulcan on the other side, and they have a Cupid with a shred build on full pen, so it's gonna burn very fast. And now you have all 5 with Jungla on with the Fire Giant, and now you see they're gonna try and pull this Pyro. They dropped it. Oh, a lot of ults dropped on there. Looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a stalemate, but looks like we're gonna get some value on on the duo side of the lane.
JT, what in the world is going on with these objectives? These fights are so crazy. Great knockup. Wait a minute, he used the knockup to try and pull out. That's huge. Gravity surge. The light will surely be taken down. Shards of ice make sure of it. The light caught just a little bit out of position, but man, oh man, that response time from Blackout was nuts. The small little knockup that Lord Turco found on the ice wall is what made that happen. That was a nuts pull.
Yeah, that's good. That's not a combination you see very often in this division. Very, very small window of error to try and pull that off, but they were able to do it. But we still have 4 members with Fire Giant, but we haven't done anything with our Fire Giant currently. We haven't done a single tower. We haven't done a single objective. We need to group up as 5 here whenever the light respawns. We need to try and push something down, get Pyro, sweep out these tier 2s, because at this point, you're 5k gold down, but you had the fire, which cancels out any gold lead that might be, putting you down, but Borrow's caught out here.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get taken down for sure. There is a dagger online. Hopefully he can use this in response. Okay, I don't think this saves his life, but that prevents Going Ghost from having a dagger in hand. 5-man, no escape, lurking in the waters, does force it away. There's not a chance he makes it to safety, right? Yeah, there's not. Is able to get chopped up by lurking in the waters. Ivory Macaroon, 555 does find a kill. Or sorry, 555. My bad. Ivory Macaroon, 555 does find a kill. It's good news for Going Ghost. 18 kills on the board, to be exact. They've got 3 gold Furies over their opponent who have none. 4k gold lead. That doesn't feel that massive. I feel like 4k gold is not that huge considering where kills and everything else is at.
Yeah, especially they're gonna get this Pyromancer for free pretty much. But he also got a Merlin out of position here. We gotta realize that. Not gonna be able to do anything off of it. Yeah, I would have liked to see that Pyro pull just a little bit earlier. Mainly because King Balrus #1. He takes on 5 people. Able to burn his dagger, almost survives. We need to realize that, hey guys, we have 5 people on the map on the left side. We need to pull something like Pyros up. We started a little bit too late to rotate over to that right side to be able to get that tier 2 tower. And now our Fire Giant is gone, Gold Fury is up, and now we're back to being at a little bit of a disadvantage here because we're kind of down at levels just a little bit and we're down a little bit of gold. So interested to see how this next fight pans out. But good damage to start off with. You get the Heroism proc off early on Turco. And now we'll see what Jungla does with this little bit of advantage that they do have.
Ancient Fury online, ready to be taken down by whoever challenges its power. Both teams surrounding the Gold Fury pit. Neither of them want to make a move. Neither team wants to step forward. Both teams are showing a bit of respect to their opponents. Going Ghosts do have a pretty decisive lead, but they also realize how strong the team fight is from Jungla. King Balrus going for the burn. Charge Spray does not connect, but Sobex in the back line. Great Fear No Evil. This could mean great things for Jturner. Good damage from the Vulcan ult. Doesn't do enough though. Zeno is still online. Pursue the Weak, taking the light up for a ride. Blackout's able to escape. King Balrus does find a kill on Turco. Going Ghost now on the retreat. Jungla chasing him down through the jungle. Good dash from Cobb. Gets him to safety of the Phoenix. Ivory Macaroon under the same fate. Zeno 100 health to his name. And Jungla, while low on health, they decide to make their way to the Fire Giant and try their luck. There is no objective secure from Going Ghost to take it away, so they feel confident in trying their luck. Mordred decided to go back to base, so the turret's going to tank things out. They don't have all the objective burn in the world because Jturner went for red buff instead. Now Sobeck showing up. wait a minute, weren't we all 5 men walking towards the fire? Now there's only 3 of us here. One of us went back to base. Another one of us went for the red camp instead. Was that not a free fire giant that we just threw in the trash? And now Going Ghosts are full health in spades and here to fight over it. And some members of Jungla are going to have to go back surely because they're low. And now Going Ghosts have a free fire that they're dropping also. What is going on? Like, why are we so scared to get objectives?
Yeah, I don't know if it was gonna be a free fire giant, but we overtouched a little bit there. We should have took our pick on Lord Turco, and we should have dipped out because we saw that the Merlin was so low HP. We should have at least got our Gold Fury. The fire there was a little bit bold, even with you have the Ares healing on his too. Still a little bit bold, and you have the Cupid healing as well. But that should have been the freest of free golds. And now you're seeing here we are looking to take a fight here. If you're Going Ghost, but they're pushing up just a little bit too far as well. Gotta be careful here. Grouping up his 5 here. Good poke here. That's another thing. Flameo started to get this Rod to Hootie. He has his pen online, which he didn't get online last game. He's starting to chunk just a little bit, so that's going to be big trouble there for Blackout. He can't play as aggressively because he's just going to keep getting out-poked, as, that's what Vulcan does best.
So, so we are around fire again. Are we going to start the burn? There we go. Burn is finally being started by Going Ghost. Jungla around the corner. Saturo's in mid lane, but the rest of Jungla are lurking in the jungle right behind the fire. 14,000 health on that fire, and it's not melting too fast. Mainly just Cobb is throwing basics at it, and Going Ghosts are waiting for an opportunity to go in. But it seems like Going Ghosts are just kind of losing health to this fire because they're not burning it quick. Make a move. Are we burning fire, or are we going for a team fight? Otherwise, it might cost you this fight if you bide your time too long. Going Ghost is still going for the burn, sitting at about 7k health. The Cobb is definitely doing some big damage on top of it. 6k health now. Jungla starting to feel a little more confident on their end. Going Ghost realize this is a bad play for them. Jungla finally grouped up and looking at W key in, but where does the fight start? No escape. All ultimates are online. Everyone's ready to fight, but Jesus Christ, what is this song and dance we're doing, dude? JT, make them do something, dude. Make them pull something that makes them fight for the game. What is happening?
Yeah, I honestly like what Jungla did right there. They saw that they couldn't decide whether they wanted to play a fight or not, so they just let the Fire Giant do as much damage as they could to the tanks and the Going Ghosts, because knowing that they were gonna have to drop it, or they were gonna be dead by the time the Fire Giant tried to do anything. So now you don't know what you're gonna do here if you're Going Ghost. And while all this is happening, Sathura is up here just stealing all the farm that he can, getting a little bit of advantage. Now we're gonna see some gripping up here. Never mind, we're gonna see. But we do have a 3-man split. Great pull there from Robo.
Huge charge spray into the gravity surge, does pull Black Banan, but he's gonna follow up with a Pursuit of the Week, takes them all for a ride, takes them to the air, comes back down, and now looking to escape, waiting for reinforcements from Jungla, but nobody is there to help as he has taken to his grave. Mordred is dead. Fields of Love looking for a response though. Fear No Evil does Fear 4. Great Fear No Evil from Saturo. The light takes advantage of it as Sobek is now dead. One body down on each side. Going Ghost very low on health, and Jungla finally feeling confident when it comes to going for this Fire Giant. Satudo walking over and keeping them from backing. That's going to buy a whole lot of time for Jungla to take down this Fire. And for the first time, finally, Jungla are taking down this Fire Giant. Thank God.
Realistically, this should be a free fire because you do have Vulcan ult and you do have the turns on there. That should be the free. Jungla gets Fire Giant on 4. Nice. Great. Honestly, if Satoru is there just a little bit sooner, and if Light Burb is still there just a little bit sooner, I think that could have been a GG right there, because we use our Cupid ult and our Vulcan ult. They hit a lot of people, but our other backliners and carries were just a little bit too low, and Banana was picked just a little bit there. Say we had a Cupid ult to follow up whenever the Mordred drops down his big ult there. I think that could have just been game, because you could have had a deicide there, and we could be going to game 3 right now.
But is that going to be the truth? Fire Giant in pocket for Jungla. Meanwhile, Going Ghost looking to cash in on this Pyromancer as the Ancient Fury is being observed and looked at by Jungla. Now targeted by Jungla as the burn begins. 10,000 health to its name, and Big Black Banana looking to do a bit of zoning on Going Ghost, but they're seeming to walk up. Sobek is in right lane. Wait a minute, that's a bird. That's an ancient bird down for Jungla. Didn't Going Ghost just have a massive lead, but it's not paying off anymore because these look at it, it's not even 1,000 gold difference. Earlier on, JT, I'm sure you remember because you were here for it, there was a 7k gold lead for Going Ghost. They didn't really get that many kills, but Jungla chopped it up to 800 gold. 800, not even 1,000. This game is as even as ever. Levels are the only thing that separate Jungla and Going Ghost, and even then, I mean, we're pretty close to 20 on both sides, if not already level 20. Things are looking as even as ever, and that late game comp that we talked about during P's and B's, JT, is finally starting to pay off.
Yeah, I think Jungla is starting to get to the point where they have a massive advantage in these team fights, because mainly the dive is going to be too strong, because obviously Merlin starts to do a lot of damage at this point of the match, but you're also to the point of the match where the dive is going to be the strongest, and that's where Merlin struggles a lot. So we need to be protecting the president here if we're Going Ghost. This Merlin is going to be our tried and true hard carry. Also, we also don't want to fight up at these T2s. We want to give all of them, because number one, they're weakened, so they're just going to die anyway most of the time. That's another thing. Try to take off the tier 2s before going to get that Ancient Fury, especially with you want to be aggressive with your fire, but like Big Black and Banana take a little bit of poke here. Doesn't matter, he's a Mordred with a Shield of the Phoenix and a lifesteal item, so it doesn't really affect him. But looks like they do want to set up a soft defense at this T2.
Walking up Ancient Fury, weakening that tier 2 tower in middle lane. There's an open bird on the left side from Going Ghost. Jungla ready for their end game phase. They feel confident, they feel hungry, and 60 seconds left, a minute to be exact, on that Fire Giant buff. If they want to cash in a fight, now's the time to do it. They've got all 5 ults online, but so does Going Ghost. Both teams are ready for a fight, but how in the world do we start it? We need to find a good no escape from King Balrus, follow it up with Fields of Love, Fear No Evil from Jturner, maybe a Pursue the Weak as well. They've got the perfect engaged team. They just need to make it happen. You need to just cash it in. I mean, that perfect moment is not just going to show up and present itself out of nowhere. You need to make this opportunity happen before your Fire Giant buff expires. Now, 20 seconds, 35 seconds, 25 seconds. I can't read. 20 seconds on the Fire Giant buff. And it's burning away slowly but surely. Cash it in. Start this fight now. I swear you're going to lose your huge advantage here. You went for fire for what? To not use, go in, walk forward, and do the thing. There we go. Fear No Evil finally starts the fight. Frost Breath in response, but does not lock down Jturner. But here we go. No escape. Does pull a bit of resources, but Going Ghost still feel fine under what's left of the tier 2 tower, but it is burning quick. Does find a good charge spray on King Balrus. No ult in response. Lurking in the waters takes him down. King Balrus is down.
There we go.
To the Sobek jaw. Jturner finds a great stun on the Blackout. Does great job. Light finds a kill. Okay, here we go. That's exactly what we needed. It looked messy. It was hard to call, but good Lord, that is what we needed for Jungla to get back into this game. We're alive, we're ready to go, and we're looking for game 3. I think we're gonna find it.
I think they could have seized a mid bird right there, but looks like they want to take the safe route, get that T2 tower online. Now, all 3 birds exposed on the side of Going Ghost, and now they're kind of reeling here. Obviously, Jungla's played this kind of not the best, but I think TTV Blackout needs to be playing just a little bit something more than just sitting on the side and trying to hit a max range, knock up. But as blinks in there from Zeno, Big Black Banana should be fine here as the BS fault. I lied, but we have a Vulcan on the other side, whiffs just a little bit. Now we have an advantage here for Going Ghost going into this Fire Giant.
You make a great point that Jturner is a playmaker. With that Fear No Evil, you're dictating how fights are going to go. You're making these fights happen because you have a play-making ultimate. Blackout's like, hey, thanks for the knockup. I'll take advantage with my gravity surge. Thanks for the kill. Like, you're not making things happen. You're taking advantage of an opportunity that somebody gives you. But Blackout, if he wants to dictate how this game goes, like Satudo can with the Fear No Evil, he needs a bit better of a god than a Willish to make plays with. Sure, the great ganks in the early game, the great game went well for them. But, I mean, right now we're at a whole different era. This is endgame that we're talking about as La Jungla are burning this Ancient Fury and Going Ghost seem to not even know.
Should be pretty free on the right side. Now, normally, I like this. Like you see, we're splitting the map. We have two people on the Gold Fury, but we also have people on the other side of the map to make sure that GG doesn't just pull this fire for free. But it wouldn't even matter because GG just had no idea that they were pulling that Gold Fury. So now we have Ancient Fury on all three birds, which is going to make this Fire Giant pull just a little bit easier, or a little bit harder, I mean. Because, you know, now you have to press up your waves. If you don't have good wave control, and, you know, on the other side of the map, you have a fire wave, not a fire wave, but a regular wave with a Minotaur, you're going to see your birds start to be, you know, kind of a threat to die there just from waves alone.
Now that Ancient Fury is down, Fire Giant is up, and so is this Pyromancer. Going Ghost, not looking to give up an objective again, because what happened when they lost that Fire Giant, they lost a couple structures, lost a couple lives, and did not look great for them. But La Jungla looking to walk up and take this Fire Giant down. They feel confident. They feel good. Great Fear No Evil does pull the beads from a Willish. That's a good resource pull. And it pulled her ult as well. So that's good stuff. You've taken a lot from Going Ghost. Blackout now is a lot less powerful than he once was going into this fight. But Satudo is just going to wait for Fear No Evil to come back online, and then we go for something big from there. And even if they fight earlier, there's still 4 more ults on the side of La Jungla.
I would like to see, you know, Boris over here try to get a little bit aggressive with his Ares ult, force out the tally beats here from Turco, or maybe even a couple of more ults, maybe the Sobek ult and the Ymir. So I'd like to see him try to use his ult a little bit of aggressively now, because you know those beads are down for Blackout, so you know you're going to get some sort of resource down from somebody else.
So, Ice Wall does block off one. Beads is forced from the light, and followed by the Fear No. Wait a minute, Cupido does great things. Cobb does not let it happen, though. Great stuff on both sides. Going for a ride, pursue the weak. Takes huge a couple from Going Ghost up into the air. Vulcan ult follows, does huge damage, forces the Lurking the Waters from Sobek. Satudo takes down one. Cobb is dead. Low health bars all across Going Ghost. Turco joins Cobb in the grave. Great slow from Mordred. Somersaults in. Satudo looking for a kill. Big Black Banana's going to take it instead. Xeno's down. 3 bodies dead from Going Ghost as the other 2 make their way back to the fountain, and La Jungla take this Fire Giant with ease.
The Ares heal and just the massive amount of Vulcan turns. This Vulcan, you don't even need a tank to tank this, or I guess I could be mistaken. They're gonna drop it. I don't know why, but no idea. So now this Fire Giant fight gets a little bit harder, but they're still tanking it here. I don't know why you're giving Going Ghost the opportunity to try and fight something here. Another Fear No Evil here on the side of Satoru.
The Fire Giant is low. They're dropping the burn. No, the burn is still going, but it's going very slowly. This leaves an opportunity for Blackout to go in, but Hard Slash stops him in his tracks. Sunder is not online. Macaroon steals it. Oh, yeah, he does steal it away for Going Ghost. Wait a minute. Flamo takes him down, though. Nobody is there to enjoy the Fire Giant buff. Great dagger pull. Macaroon is online, zoning away. He's going to get damage on Flamo. Takes him to the grave, and Macaroon is still alive. He stole the Fire Giant away. He found a kill. Satudo's in the grave as well. He's getting pulled by the No Escape. Nowhere for him to go. No beads online to get him out, but by golly, wait a minute, Lurking in the Waters could lead him to safety, but no, it is not. The light is able to put him down, but man, what a play from Lord Turco right there. Very deserving of the Lord title.
Yeah, I think this game would be over if we just didn't drop the Fire Giant. Like, obviously, I know that we're still burning it with our turns, but there's just no reason to drop the Fire Giant right there. You're just giving the opportunity on the side of GG to come in and steal it, and he does. You know, they know they have Sunder. Your Sunder is in the back, unavailable because Banana had backed. So I just don't know what we're doing on the side there. Looking, just played that very poorly, and They could save it here because this burn's not going very fast on this Gold Fury, and Big Black Banana does have ult available for him.
Down to 2K. Ice Wall blocks it off, though. Wait a minute, they're dropping it. They give it up to Jungla. Wait a minute, they just dropped it. Going Ghost. They couldn't find a way to hold on without losing their lives, so they just dropped the Ancient Fury entirely. Jungla cashing it in as their own, and they've got Ancient Fury now. They might not have a Fire Giant buff, so the fights might not go their way, but should Going Ghost lose one fight, all three birds on Going Ghost side are weakened. Very, very weak, and very easy to seed should Jungla decide to W key forward. They need to press hard. They need to press hard now because Going Ghost almost found a good opportunity after that Fire Giant steal from Lord Turco, but Jungla have everything that they need to just walk it down.
Also, while that Fire Giant was going on, the GG left bird is now on 1 HP and very easily stealable here. You don't have Fire Giant, but you do have 5 strong. We need to try and... I'd like to see Sathara split over here on this left bird. You know, it's literally one auto away. Or Big Black Banana, you just have a bomb on the side of that side. Just anybody, get this left bird down, get some pressure for some end potential here. But Blackout taking some big damage here. Can he get away? He will.
Great use of the Wind Sprite does get him to safety. Jungla not chasing down on Blackout. Instead, they maintain their push down the middle lane. Meanwhile, Saturo on the right side looking for that solo lane bird. It is weakened. He's waiting on a wave to show up, and then he'll be pushing hard. All 5 of Going Ghosts are here in the mid lane. Blackout realizes that here comes Hunbats. Does find the beads. He does not want to get pulled by that gravity surge, but wait, he actually, well, it was good. It was a good beads. He beads away the gravity surge. He would have got pulled. He would have lost his life right there. But Blackout going in and said, "Fear no evil." Online, Blackout used his beads, but dies regardless as the light rotates over. A bit of a skirmish happening by the doors leading up to the Titan room of Going Ghost, but skirmish turns to nothing. One body down on each side, along with some beads and ults as well on top of it all. So both junglers dead, both assassins in the grave. Big Black Banana is trying to do the dash. There he's going dashing in. Pursue the weak, looking for a Naka, but can't find anyone just yet. Instead, he's going to find the safety of his team. No escape, does pull none. Fields of Love is out. Getting burned very quickly. Lord Turco needs to back things up, but that does not stop the aggression from Zeno and Cobb. W King forward, looking for bodies on Jungla. Black Banana all by himself, getting bursted down quickly. Can't seem to heal the damage that Cobb is throwing down on him. Black Banana joins Arturo in the grave. 2 bodies down on Jungla, and Going Ghost seem to be walking up a bit.
Yeah, that was actually the Magi's cloak on the side of Sathara that was able to save his able to not be able to beach that he will with that first. But yeah, we pick our junglers, but both teams just cannot for the life of them, you know, get a solitary fight to end this game. Looks like probably Fire Giant's going to be the next step of being able to finish this, because it doesn't seem like these teams can finish a game in the neutral state that it is. You know, you're just going to keep trading off 2 people. But the longer this game goes, the more one-shot potential this Vulcan does have. So I think that might be the go button. This game might get determined on how fat of an ult, you know, Flamio hits. If it's a big one, that could be on the side of Jungla. If he hits nobody with a potential ult, then Going Ghost is going to have the advantage to like try and push in.
Everybody is back up from La Jungla, Black Banana in 5, but everybody is available and ready for a fight. Ultimates are online, so are relics. Well, we're actually waiting on that beads from Zeno down for 60 seconds, but just about everything is online on both sides. Both teams ready for a potential fight. But how do we start things off if we're Going Ghost? We have a lot more kills, but we're down on gold and seem to be losing fights at a rapid rate. How do we dictate this next fight?
Well, in my opinion, I think this is the point of the game where we have triple bombs on the side of GG. I would like to see Blackout split up just a little bit. You see that the left bar on the side of La Jungla is also a little bit low. Try to split up just a little bit. Just do anything to be able to try to break this neutral game, because nothing you have been able to do previously has worked. You try to sit back, try to hit a knock up, and try to hit an early ult, but that hasn't worked out for you. Just try and split up something. Yeah, you might be able to like free up maybe a potential fire for La Jungla, but we're to the point of the stage where this fire giant has 20k HP. It's not going to be burning very fast. So we need to try something else if we're going ghost here.
Sitting in the bush, 2 bodies of Going Ghost ready for Longwood to step up and potentially contest this fire giant. We are 48 minutes into this game, and we are at a solid stalemate between both teams. 26 kills on the board for Going Ghost and 16 for La Ungla. Looking like the Light's going to try and solo this Ancient Fury away. That seems like a smart move. I think Going Ghost realized this and decided to W key forward. Couldn't find the nice wall. Couldn't find a way to block off La Ungla. There goes their engage. They decide to go for a burn on this Fire Giant instead and try and pull La Ungla to them. Smart move indeed. Light's able to take away Ancient Fury, and the burn on the Fire Giant is very quick. Volcanote's a little bit late on the mark. Blackout does take away the Fire Giant, but Zeno takes down Saturo. Looking great for Going Ghost. Couple low health bars on the side of Going Ghost, but they seem to be fine so far. Pursue the Week almost got Big Black Banan out of harm's way, but he was body blocked, then he was killed. 2 bodies down on La Ungla. They do have the Ancient Fury, but not much else from there. Going Ghost did lose Blackout, but they still have a dream, and that dream is to win this game and sweep the set. Approaching this mid lane bird, they're ready to get this game over with, and man, I cannot blame them. Pressing up hard, Lord Turco is tanking that bird. Oh my god, Volcanolt's out again, but does not connect with anybody there. Icewall does a great job of blocking them in. Cobb takes down the bird very quickly. The Light takes down Lord Turco. Great Fields of Love, but doesn't stop much from there. Did force a beads, however. Great resource pull. Ivory Macaroon taking away a lot of damage throughout this bird. Maybe we find another. Cobb can take it down quickly. Longlow want to stop them, however. Ares Chain could stop him in his tracks. Does connect, but he's getting bursted down quickly by that Lerny Bow. Great active. Heart Bomb does good damage on the Cobb, and they seem to just back things up. And hey, we took a bird. We almost took another. We'll come back for it later on. That's a good push. You took advantage of something. You got a Fire Giant. You got a kill. You got 2 kills to be exact. I'm cool with that. I'm completely fine with Going Ghost walking away out of that.
Yeah, but Going Ghost has to be careful here. Turco's just playing far too aggressively here. I know you want to zone out, but your goal should just be able to get these birds. And then if they give it to you, able to step up at Zeno up a little bit too far for his bridges.
Yeah, Heart Bomb's going to lock him in place, and the Light's going to take him down quick. Easy pick. There's just no reason to be up there, really. I mean, there's I don't know if you were going for a ward or if what was going on, but I mean, you just gave yourself up right there. You let him have it for sure. So 1 body down, ongoing Ghost as Lord Turco is about to respawn now. Free Pyro for Flamo and the rest of La Ungla. Cobb able to take down the Light in the process. Pursue the Weak, does find an engage, but La Ungla's not feeling the fight. He's left all alone. Bit of a miscommunication is what that looked like. Volcanote again does not connect with anyone. This man is just letting him fly, but not hitting anything. He is 0 for 30 in this game right now.
Yeah, we're in territory because we're in territory where literally 1 pick could just end the game. Obviously, they're going to have a hard time ending here because Zeno is down ever, but you have Satharo with the dagger. Do we have a little bit of a base race here, potentially? He's going to be able to take that down. I don't know. I think I might give the advantage here to Satharo on this side, because you do have Vulcan on the other side. If they just can prevent the back here on the side of La Jungla, this could be a win, but he's going to choose to back here, fight on the other side.
And is finally getting taken out by Going Ghost. W King and trying to find a way to take down this Titan, but great defense from La Ungla. 1,000 health to the Titan's name, almost taking it down. They give it everything they've got, but they could not make it happen. Damn near deicide from Going Ghost. Zeno not able to join them in that fight, and that is how important that pick was from Zeno earlier. I hate to drive this into the grave and beat a dead horse, but Zeno got picked off way earlier for no reason, and that 1,000 health is an easy combo of abilities that Zeno could have had out and taken down the Titan with. That could have been game for Going Ghost. This game could be over right now, but guess what, JT? Me and you at the 52-minute mark are still casting this game 2 of the set. We are still here, maybe going for an hour. Who knows at this point, because I don't know what's going on, but finally we see a bit of aggression from La Ungla on this bird. Couple low health members. King Balrus decides to back things up as Zeno is alive and well and could be doing a whole lot of damage. Maybe we show up with the right lane minion wave and go for the Titan. I don't know. There's 15 seconds on
20
blackout.
seconds left.
Everybody else is 20. This could be the move. Yeah, they're going to take it away. Great move
Huge
indeed.
hero.
Zeno does good damage. Great fear, no evil. Locks down Zeno. Flamo takes him into the grave, and the Titan's dead quick. Great move. Great response from Jungla. And guess what? We're going to game 3.
Yeah, that was just a game of throws. As you can, being able to just deep dive into that. We're 50 minutes into the game. You know if you're gonna go all in on this Titan, that you need to do it, or the game's just gonna be over because you're hitting 90-second respawn timers here on the side on both teams. So not able to. They do it without their biggest burner. Barlin just sitting on the other side, dead. So I don't know if you should have taken that fight. Maybe just go for all 3 birds. I think if you go for all 3 birds there, the game is just over because it's hard to come back from a game this late down 3 birds because you can't just walk in and end it. So a game of throws there, obviously. Multiple objectives thrown, multiple fights thrown, but at the end there, the ability for Jturner to be able to split that fight, get that bird down, be able to back, hit a huge fear no evil on the other side, be able to open up that game. The Titan survived, I think, 1,000 HP or so, and that's the difference in the game right there.
That was a wild game to watch. There is a lot to break down, but I'm going to save this breakdown for after the break because I need to decompress. That was a wild game. That was 52 minutes of terror from Jungla and Going Ghost, and I need to think. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back, chat. Welcome everybody back to OSL Olympus Smite League. This is Morty on the mic, joined here by Riggz, the production extraordinaire, and next to me here in the booth is JT. Give me a vibe check, JT.
Vibes are medium right now after that last game. We're kind of low on energy around here, or around these parts.
I can get that. And for those of you who are just now joined us over our somewhat lengthy break, can you give them a bit of a recap? I know it was a long 52-minute slobber knocker, but can you give us a bit of a recap on what we saw?
Going Ghost had an early lead, and then they proceeded to throw that lead, and then Jungla took control of it, and then they threw their lead, and then Jturner split pushed, and they tried to all in the Titan without the Merlin, and they all died, so Jungla won. That's about it.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. And if you ask me, JC, I feel like Going Ghost lost that game in the picks and bans phase because there were some gods that got thrown into the mix that probably did not deserve to be there, namely the Awilish, who just should not be played right now. I don't care how good you are at that god. I think that god is terrible. I think there's just no way you make that work into a comp that succeeds, especially in that late game scenario that Jungla was going for. Their first pick into the game is Neith, one of the strongest mid laners available right now. So what do we like about Neith? Why is she so prominent?
She just has really good one-shot potential on a solo target, and she has worldwide map presence. Able to just throw out an ult on the side for a gank, and so. The ult by the end game, it's pumping a lot of damage as well.
Cupid in response to the Neith pick, along with Mordred, top 2 picks for Going Ghost. I'm a big fan of the Mordred pick here. I really like how Mordred has been operating. Not a massive pick as much as it once was because Phoenix Shield did get a pretty solid nerf, and that definitely hurts Mordred's survivability potential. So it does kind of suck to see Mordred taken off out of that pedestal that he once was. Very fun god to play, very awesome god to watch just move around the map and cause havoc, deal damage, and do everything that Mordred's known for doing, but still a strong pick regardless, and does get picked up for Going Ghost. In response, Odin locked in, potentially the solo laner again for Jungla, and Agni surely going towards the light.
Listen, if this Odin is going jungle, this comp so far for Jungla is about as perfect as you can get it right now. I'm praying that they open their eyes that we did nothing with it in game 1 in solo lane, and we toss this into the jungle. Like, if this is an Odin jungle, we're starting up this draft as good as we can. Like, just massive pressure everywhere. It's just about as good as you can get. On the other side, I don't know about this Scylla pick if we go to it. Late game scaling here for Go and Goes, which I don't like. They like to play this early game, and I like that Merlin switch up just a little bit more. Allows them to get a little bit more aggressive there and more in line with the Neath and the Hercules pick. Haven't seen it here. I'm assuming this is going into the jungle, and if it does, I like it. It has the potential to be very strong, very hard carry-esque.
I'm a big fan of the Merlin pick here. I really like the burn potential on objectives that Merlin has. There's no objective secure aside from a Herc Boulder, which to be fair, it's a lot of damage, especially if this is a Herc jungle. That's a lot of damage that Herc Boulder can do. So there is a bit of objective secure on the side of Going Ghost through that. But I don't know if I want that to be their only objective secure. I mean, Herc Boulder is just so nice with the knockup for team fights and the huge damage it does. I don't know. I'm a little surprised to see it show up here for the Fire Giant, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of weird things going on with the comp, but overall good for team fights. But we have the Sun Wukong locked in for Jungla, Afro to join as well, the 5th pick for Jungla, and Going Ghost locked their last one in with Ares. 10 on 10 here. What do we think? How do the team comps look? What are the vibes?
I love living with comps so much, aside from the Afro. Like I said, in my opinion, healers are kind of unplayable, but Afro might be the exception just because you can't just hard connect like an Agni and just be, escapable to damage. But healers are only unplayable because of the anti-healing items like brawlers, and I haven't seen that item picked up once by either team. So these people just must not be knowers about how broken that item is into healers. I just like Lahungla's comp just a little bit better. If this is Odin jungle, I'm assuming it is, unless we're gonna run a little bit of Wukong jungle here, which could be the case. I've seen Satharo do crazier. But on the other side, I don't know if Turco has an Ares in his bag. I could be wrong, but I would like to see him go a little bit of comfort here. The Sobek was still up, and I think the Sobek's probably a little bit better for him at least. So I think a little bit of a panic going on here on the GG side. And if, like I said, if this Odin's going in the jungle, this comp's about as good as you can get on the side of Jungla.
I'm in high agreement with you of Odin being a very strong jungle pick here. What makes me think that we might have a Wukong jungle, is that, as crazy as that sounds, is, let's think about it this way. Yesterday, I know you were there, JT. I was there as well because I was casting it. Sunprod put on a clinic with that Odin pick into the jungle. But just being real here, there is a very big difference between Sunprod, the king of junglers in the entire Smite competitive scene, and Saturo. You know what I mean? And that's why Big Black Banana is taking this Odin pick into solo.
Yeah, but it doesn't take that much to be effective on Odin. You just face bang him with your 3. It does insane damage because your base damage is so high, and you're just picking up that early bit of cooldown. And number one, Banana just didn't look good on it either. Like, he just got no value. He didn't rotate. He didn't Odin cage in a 5v5 once. So I like Saturo's Wukong. I've seen it before. I've played against it in my olden days. But I just think that this Odin is just able to facilitate things so much better in the jungle. Just insanely easy to get value out and inside of it. I think we're just throwing our draft here just by not putting Odin where he's most effective.
No, I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement. Definitely, maybe what could be beneficial to both our arguments is if Big Black Banana realizes the mistakes that were made last game and he starts rotating around a little bit more, taking advantage of that 6-minute teleporter that comes online now instead of 10 minutes that it once was. Maybe just rotating over to mid lane every now and then, putting a little more pressure on those firebrands, getting a couple more aqua rocks. That would be great as far as showing presence with that Odin ult, which seems to be your biggest, our biggest gripe. I'm on your side. Yeah, that Odin ult is so much more massive when you can use it throughout all parts of the game rather than just in solo and use it to help out with ganks. So I get that. Ares does land a couple chains, does decent damage onto the light, definitely hurting their lane pressure that they're going for. Now, what really stuck out to me throughout this draft was the combination of Agni, yet again, going to the light, and King Balrus getting Afro here. What is the benefit of locking these two gods together?
Just allows, your Agni just to have a little bit more protections. Because the longer your Agni can stay alive, just the more um value he's gonna get. He's not like a Cupid where like one big ult that could change the fight. He's gonna get all those autos stacked on top of you with that passive to be able to do big amounts of damage. So if you have like that little bit of protections and that movement speed boost that the Afro provides to you, it's just able to like utilize and like enhance this Agni pick even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point. To let him free cast, to let him do his thing. I'll chill out back here. You do you, boo. I'm just gonna heal you up while you do your thing. Driving strike does take Wukong into the wall. Over on the right side, King Balrus smells the beef and decides to go over and see what's cooking. But a little bit late to heal up their friend. We're gonna back things up and realize that hey, Blackout has a lot of damage already with that driving strike. Let's not give him what he wants. Okay, pressing up a little bit. Finds a knock up. Not able to find the driving strike to follow. Wukong's jumping in. Does find the Ox Swarm. Does find the knock up. Blackout's in trouble and taken down by Jturner. Great first blood for La Jungla.
Yeah, both the junglers just stick there, and luckily Sutter was looking to charge him back there, but as soon as that back almost was about to end, the Hercules reveals himself, so Satoru stops his back and goes ahead and steals that first blood potentially. That's another thing. On the side of this Going Ghost team, they have no walls into this Agni. So this Agni with the Afro pick, beads, and dash might be almost unkillable. And Barb needs to realize that. So let's not play too aggressively here. We can get value as long as we just stay and trust our Afro to ult us and then just keep autoing these targets down. And this should just be the perfect Agni game.
I mean, Agni is a power pick here. I think out of all 5 gods on La Jungla, and this is saying a lot because they have Flamo on the Neath and Big Black Banana on the Odin, I feel like the Light is the scariest pick on their team. It's a pick that's strong throughout all phases of the game. It's good at multiple things, also considered a safe pick because you have the dash, and there's a good amount of range because of Rain Fire. There's so much to love about Agni as a carry that you need to either put pressure on him as Going Ghost or just shut him down early. Put a lot of pressure, just like Herc was a couple seconds ago. Keep going over to duo. Keep putting pressure on top of him. Maybe they didn't walk away with the kill. That's fine. That's more than fine. You still need to try and lock him down. Go for another gank. Go for another. Don't let him breathe. Put your foot on his throat and don't give him a chemical, a molecule of oxygen. That is how you take this Agni down early.
Back there, trying to get a little bit of aggressive there on the Cupid. Not able to pull anything, but Cupid down sitting there, low HP. But this Afro, low mana here, so that's going to be something to look out for. Cupid dash force in this Ares is going to be looking to gank here from the side.
Walking on over, does find a good chain, looking to lock down Agni. No escape does follow, and Afro doesn't have the mana for an ult. Fields of Love does find a stun. Heart Bomb almost takes down King Balrus, but he's A-OK, a sliver of health to his name, but enough to let him make it back to the tier 1 tower and head on back to base. Fight happening in solo lane as well. Odin Cage does save his life, is what it looks like, as Herc was locked into that cage, and so was Mordred. No chance of escaping that cage, no way to get through, and Odin made his way back to safety, and he's just going to keep on farming up and doing what an Odin solo does, I suppose. Fight happening over in duo yet again. Wukong in the air, does find the slam down, finds the basic at the end. Satoru finds the kill, and turns into the Ox and burrows his way to safety. Great bit of damage from Satoru right there, able to find another kill and take his way back to light. Almost took down Cobb as well, but couldn't find enough tick damage to take down the rest of that health bar, and the Cobb is going to be able to make it back to base with ease. Instead, he's going to heal up and sit under that tower, wait for a wave. It's probably a smart thing to do anyway, but Herc around the side. Herc waiting for a big gank. He does have the boulder online. He does have a knockup as well. Big driving strike followed by the boulder, but dash out thanks to the beads from Afro, but Afro surely will be paying with her life. No follow-up to the knockup, which means the King Balrus and the Light make it out safely. No follow-up from the Herc gank means that there's just no kill potential right there. What makes me think that they're listening is that, look, Herc showed up to duo again, shut down that Agni early, but you need help with these ganks. You should have been there 30 seconds ago when Cupid was looking to fight. You could have been there 10 seconds later when Ares was there to fight. It's all about timing, violence and timing.
Obviously, like, when they were on the other side of the map, they were trying to gank solo, but Banana actually had a good ult over there, trying to keep that completely shut down the Hercules gank. Granted to say, Hercules at this point of the game is at his weakest, just because he doesn't have that one-shot potential. His cooldowns aren't low enough to be able to like cycle through completely. To get, even to like, you can have a full second rotation of abilities if you have your passive up and you have low enough cooldowns. But he gets aggressive here on this purple buff.
Looking to find something on this purple. Sunder doesn't seal it away, does get used by King Balrus to make sure that they get the buff that Going Ghost so heavily want, but not able to find anything there. Jungla up 2 kills at the 7-minute mark in a minute gold lead. Nothing huge, but it is there. But that might change as Going Ghost, 4 members of them, go towards this Gold Fury and take it off the map very quickly. And Jungla seem to not even know.
Yeah, that's just, we had no idea that they were pulling the Gold Fury right in front of our faces. Just a miscommunication at that part. People got to realize that, hey, nobody's showing on the map, and they were just over there on the purple buff. They're probably somewhere around the Gold Fury. Just a mistake there. It could cost Jungla here. I feel like they had a little bit of advantage there in the early game, and now they kind of thrown their lead just a little bit.
It feels good to see Jungla taking a good amount of pressure. They're giving a good amount of pressure early on. I mean, we're seeing a lot from Blackout here. He's showing up to ganks. He's farming his butt off. He's trying to make an impact into this game, but nothing online, nothing on board just yet. These hurt ganks just don't seem to be working out. I think they could be used a little bit better. And then I think that Herc will really come online once we get into this team fighting phase. But for now, Jungla seems to be in control, aside from letting one Gold Fury slip through the cracks. Look at Wukong diving deep, maybe looking to set up his team for some type of gank. Not able to find a knock-up through the 2. Heart Bomb does good damage onto Wukong. He's in the air looking to heal back up, but both members of Going Ghost almost make it to the tier 1 tower. That they do. Fields of Love looking to put an end to their siege, but beads used from Wukong. Boulder almost slapped him in the face, but he's able to escape through. Herc is here. Herc is there, looking to do some damage, but yet again, Herc is a little late to the fight. Good ult from Afro, followed by the dash from Agni, and I think he's going to be able to make a driving strike into the knockup, able to take down the light and put Walrus out of position as well. 2 bodies in the grave. Great 2-1 combo from Herc. I really like that. Now he's showing up for these ganks. He's got a kill and an assist under his belt. They've got a Gold Fury as well. And Going Ghost finally getting a bit of traction.
That could have been a lot worse than it was for both teams, but luckily Blackout able to save the fight just a little bit. Showed up just a little bit late, missing out on that ultimate ability, but they were so pushed up and they were so poked out that he was able to get off enough abilities off to be able to pick off both the support and the ADC there. Decent amount of damage there. Hercules starting to scale just a little bit. I'm assuming he's going to go the second item, Bladed Boomerang, and once he gets that online, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But the Jungla just played that a little bit too aggressively here. Starting to find up a little bit of a deficit here. 2k down, and Light just needs to miss Heart Bomb there from Cobb could potentially put some aggressive there for Light.
Really big fan of how things are going. I feel like I'm seeing the right things from both teams. Maybe Jungla let one Gold Fury slip, but for the most part, they're operating pretty well. They're doing it the best that they've done in this early game phase throughout all 3 games. This is the best look they have for them. Going Ghost, they're still showing up. They're doing just fine. I think that Blackout could be a little bit better with the ganks, but for the most part, the game looks good. They're farming away. They're doing a bit better of a job of farming. As you can look at the gold shard, it's not just the Gold Fury that's keeping them up, but it's also the farming, the rotations that they're doing, the farming patterns that they're maintaining. It's keeping them into the game and keeping them also in the lead.
Yeah, also, there's not really much of a level difference outside of the mid lane where the Merlin is able to just have a little bit more of an advantage. But it looks like they try to get a little bit aggressive here with the purple buff, but might be too late.
It's definitely a good pull from both sides. Looks like Blackout's looking for a knockup on King Balrus, who's a little out, but he's able to put the juke shoes on, does not get knocked up, but maybe pulled by the no escape. He's having to use the ult to make sure that he doesn't get pulled. Great Ox Swarm from Saturo. And now he's going into the air looking for an ult. He's going to heal up for just a moment, and he's invisible. There he is. He's going to dive back down to safety, but Going Ghost not looking to let him slide through the cracks. Great beads from the Wukong, followed by the Oxform, will make sure that he gets out of harm's way. And overall, great stuff so far from both sides. Going Ghost take advantage of the fact that they push Laungla back. They're going to go for this Gold Fury. And Laungla seem to have no response to it yet again. These Gold Furies cannot keep slipping through the cracks. Diving in deep here. Blackout does secure it. However, Odin's going to have to jump back down. Odin's just a tad too late to the Gold Fury pit. Great backflip from Neath, but doesn't find safety for Flamo. Cobb, it takes down two bodies on the floor for Laungla. And a Gold Fury as well. These guys are looking great right now.
Yeah, I think they could have been a little bit aggressively there from Lahungla. Like, instead of opting to like maybe wrap around just a little bit as the Agni, we opted to teleport to the side of the lane, which I think is probably a little bit of a mistake because you are fairly, how do I say this? Like I said, you're safe in this comp because number one, they have no walls if on the side of going Ghost. They can't stop you. The only way they can ever stop you is if the hurt catches your dash somehow, which shouldn't be happening. But I just think they just need to play a little bit more aggressive here. I think they have a little bit of an aggressive comp. Like here, Burb now showing up.
Pyro almost got burned down, but they dropped it with the intentions to fight instead. The Light pressing forward does find a kill. Macaroon finds one in response here in the middle lane. And the Odin Cage is letting them fight away, but couldn't heal off of the Phoenix Shield because of the Odin Cage, so Mordred's gonna get burned down quick. Flamo makes sure of it. The Light takes down Ares as well. 3 bodies on the floor from Going Ghost and Laungla, looking to take advantage and walk for this Pyromancer and grab another objective under their belts.
So yeah, if they get this Pyro here, we're gonna be back to kind of like an even state. You're gonna be, the gold's gonna be roughly probably 1,500-ish on this side. I would have honestly like to see them get a little bit aggressive on that mid tower, because you're gonna maybe at least weaken a little bit before you go for this play here. Now you have a full wave going under the tower, but they'll lock it back. If they do have TPs, they'll be able to get back to the dual lane, but Cobb over here split pushing just a little bit, maybe able to get this left tower down. It doesn't look like Light does have TP, so this left tower will be going down.
It's a shame. That is a darn shame. Overall, good stuff from both sides. Longo doing a great job of holding on to what is left. Great knee hold as well. Gonna lock down Cobb. Dashes down, but he does have beads. Is Ballers gonna be able to find a stun? Beads through regardless. The stun. So the stun was over, and then he beads after the stun was over. But here comes Neath. Flamo looking for a pick. Spirit Arrow doesn't connect, and Cobb runs loose under that tier 1 tower, not able to find anything there. Ares and Merlin just a tad too late to the fight, and now there's nothing left.
Yeah. Rough beats there from on the side of Cobb, but not Turco getting a little bit too aggressively here. I feel like able to chain up Afro Tablet or Tablet of Purification down. Talisman of Purification, my bad.
There you go.
Tablet, Talisman, same thing.
It's all right. No big deal. No biggie at all. We're here at the 15-minute mark. Maybe a bit of pressure being put on to Flamo. Herc's around the backside, looking for a driving strike, and does push them towards Going Ghost. Beating back, trying to find safety under the tier 1, but it's just not doing enough damage. Is it doing now? Whoa, Lord Turco takes one more shot that his health bar allowed him to. Ends up falling to the grave, and Flamo finds a kill out of that 3-man gank. Holy crap, that's crazy. Odin Cage does lock down Blackout. Nowhere for him to go. No way to get through or get over or under the Odin Cage. An impassable object blocking the escape route for Blackout. Bad news for Going Ghost. Good news for Laungla.
Played Odin just a little bit. Perfect. We were inting for 8 cages earlier, but now we're able to get some cage value. That's +5 strength and +5 intelligence for Mr. Big Black Banana over there from his passive. And, those stack up quite a bit. By the end of the game, if you're playing so aggressively, you can get just 80 strength and intelligence possibly just from your cages alone. So I'm hoping that he continues to play aggressively here. And once he gets these ult stacks online, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
That'll be nice indeed. But for now, until that stacking is done, we are going to await 16 minutes in. And 2 Gold Furies, as well as a 2K gold lead for Going Ghost. it's a weird little song and dance we find ourselves in. It seems like both teams feel pretty even as far as early aggression goes. Objectives seem to be in favor of going Ghost, but the gold lead is still in it's close. It's close. Experience looks good for La Jungla. Gold looks good for going Ghost. This is the most even we've seen this matchup in the early game all set so far. So I love to see where this game's going to go. The team comps still look fine for both sides. This is probably the best game we're going to see so far in the set.
Yeah, looks like we're finally going to get our first team fight here, hovering around this Gold Fury. Odin Cage back up. 2 shells up on the side of going Ghost. Let's just try and force... Honestly, the best case scenario would be to try and force both of them. Masato caught out here, going to have to burn his ult. Potentially, nope, gets out with just the Eagle form. And now he'll be able to recontest here on this Gold Fury.
Gold Fury is getting burned down by going Ghost. 5k health left. Going Ghost decide to drop, and Jungla maybe looking to pick it up, but instead we're going to go for a fight. Jumping on in, pursue the weak, does good knockup, no escape, does not pull many, feels the love on the field as well. Cobb takes down one, Ivory Macaroon takes another, 2 bodies down on the floor, Balrus and Banan in the grave. Fury's getting picked back up. Jungla still not wanting to give up on it. Crystalline walking straight towards the Herc, looking to melt his health bar down just a little bit, but in goes Satudo, looking for a way to get to that Ancient Fury, but it did get dropped because they all want to make sure that Satudo hits the grave as well. He does take down Turco in the process, so 1 down for Ghost, 3 down for Jungla, but I still think that leads them. Maybe they go for Fury. A lot of low health bars on the side of Ghost, so I don't think they pull it. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm just as indecisive as they are. There's a lot of pros and cons here. Flamo thinks that he has a chance to walk away with this Gold Fury, so he's going to walk up. 1,000 health to his name. Unravel does not secure it. Cobb takes it for going Ghost. That's their 3rd Gold Fury of the game. 3 gold tokens in pocket. That is surely going to help their sieging potential mid to late game.
Yeah, Flamio's going to be more aggressive there. You realize just because you're full HP and you're Neath, and they have nothing to even lock you down there, you don't have no Herc ult, the Ares isn't there to be able to chase you if he even had his ult up. And honestly, if you just put a now a 1-2-3 combo down there, you probably kill too, and there's potential to be able to steal the Gold Fury as well. We just gotta realize that, hey, where our strong points are and how safe we are. If you realize this, hey, these guys are low, they're more scared of me than I'm gonna be scared of them. I should put a full Neath combo up here, potentially steal that Gold Fury away, potentially walk away with a little bit of a kill. So we have to know our power spikes here.
You got to know your power spikes. Very, very good point. That's high-level analysis right there. I don't hear very many Chair 2s talk about the power spikes throughout the game. When is this god best? When is this god not as good? Those are very powerful points. When are the strongest points of this god's operating potential? So yeah, that's a huge thing that you point out there.
Yeah, like honestly, the Neath is this. Honestly, she's strongest like maybe potentially right now. You have like the high damage in the Doomorph and the Ratatouille. Looking like he's gonna opt to an early Soul Reaver. I don't know if I like that a lot. Obviously, Turco's putting a lot of HP. But me personally, I would like to get my Ob Shard online before my Soul Reaver.
True.
You have enough cooldown right now, so the Soul Reaver not going to get as much value early, but they try to pull this Pyromancer. Turco trying to do a little bit of zoning up here.
Pyromancer does get dropped. Going Ghost want a kill instead of a Pyromancer, but using the ult, Wukong's in the air, dives down. Instead of letting that health regen, he might be paying for it with his life. Does get pulled away, and Macaroon puts him in the grave. Overstepping just a little bit. That seems to be a common theme with Satudo. Is just he's trying to bite off a little bit more than he can chew, and that's hurting him for sure. He's giving up kills that don't really need to be given up. Talisman used from Afro because her ult was online too, but we used Tally instead. Interesting. Odin Cage is out, looking to keep some bodies in place, but the Phantom Shell used in response from Lord Turco. That's good. That's just fine. A good response. I mean, you're pulling resources. And we, again, do the song and dance around the Pyromancer. Going Ghost surely want it, but they don't want to lose it to La Jungla, and I surely cannot blame them. 5k health on the Pyro, and it is burning down quick, down to 25. Pursue the Weak goes in, and it is going to get taken away by Balrus. Lovebirds take down the Pyro at the last tick of health. Huge steal away from Balrus, and we walk away with a bomb as well. Dude, what an amazing play from Balrus. Holy crap.
Just let Ballers walk up and steal the Pyromancer away, and while all that was happening, Burb was getting that left tower down, so now gold starting to even out just here a little bit. All tier 1s down here on the side of GG. So that's a little bit of a be able to open stuff up. Are they going to start a little bit of a fire giant dance right now? I don't think so. But Going Ghost able to get this and knock it down. We're to that point. I think you're going to see GG make the same mistake, or potentially make the same mistake that they made last game. They'll try and pull this Gold Fury. And maybe you'll see Jungla try and steal this Fire Giant away again, but I don't. Hopefully, Going Ghost learns from their mistake from the last game and is able to realize, hey, let's get some vision on this side of the map before we try and pull Gold Fury.
One thing we talked about early on into the game is this Odin pick and how it probably belongs in jungle, but Jungla seemed to opt for it into the solo lane, and how you mentioned that you don't really get as much utility out of the Odin ult when it's locked in one lane. Do you feel like Big Black Banana's been doing a better job rotating around and utilizing the effectiveness of the cage?
He's been doing better. I like for him to use his cages to start more. He's been using his cages at the end of team fights just a little bit too much. I'd like to see him use it to initiate a little bit. Number one, because to get some value out from both, from potentially shell down from either Robo or Turco. That's what I'd like to see him start right now, but with Perk ult forced out, he's getting pretty low.
Flamo doesn't throw the ult out, decides to hold on to it instead. If we use it next game, who knows? We're still chasing down the kind of beefy target over there. Mordred is a hard kill. He's got a lot of tank online. That Spirit Robe is going to keep him alive for quite some time, along with the Phoenix Shield and that Seguin Lash that everyone has been so hyped up about. And he is just utilizing it very, very well. Pursue the Weak, chasing in deep, does find Balrus, gets taken up for a ride, and having to get on out of their Odin cage, does lock down a couple members of Going Ghost, but no escape. Here to follow, does pull Balrus in big trouble. We're still W King forward. Big Black Banana does want a piece.
Huge
God takes down Jturner. Oh my God. Flamo does find a kill. Blackout takes down Balrus. Flamo finds another. He's in. He's locked in, chat. Black Banana takes down Macaroon. 4 bodies down on the side of Going Ghost. Are we going to find a deicide on Xeno? Flame Wave almost makes it happen. He's going to try and charge up that ult, hoping that Xeno maybe steps out of position, but he's going to stay in safety of the lane as the rest of Jungla take their butts to the Gold Fury and look to take their first one of the game.
I like this call. We win the fight. We got to be careful that this Merlin can easily potentially snipe all 3 of us down. Let's try to play a little bit aggressively on this Merlin, but I like the call. Let's not go for Fire Giant here. Let's take our winning Gold Fury. With backflipping, should be a free. Great job there. Great awareness. I know they saw them on the ward back there. Neathel down, I don't think it's going to get much value, but I like that we were able to get our fight win and then we backed. We didn't try to go play it too aggressively and fight towards that fire, and we instead got the Gold Fury. And now, Jungla with their first gold lead of the game.
Man, I think if there's one thing I would change, I would tell Flamo, just let those ults fly, man. I mean, it's a decently long cooldown, but you do have Spear Deso online, which definitely helps a little bit with those ult cooldowns. You've got you got so much damage on you, big dog. I mean, this is Intelligence Neath, and it has not been nerfed yet. It is still very much so strong. I think that you should just be looking at squishies and letting that thing fly. Even in the middle of team fights, you know, if you're on cooldowns, if you've dumped all 3 of your abilities and you're sitting there hitting 80 damage basics, just let it fly, dude. Even if it doesn't kill, you could potentially be hitting a stun and setting one of your friends up for a kill. That could be huge for saving Balrus' life, or letting the light take care of somebody. That could be huge for letting Black Banana combo that stun with a stun of his own with the 3. I mean, there's just a lot of kill potential around that huge damage from the World Weaver. I'd be letting that thing fly. I mean, I haven't seen that many ults from him this game, but it's just such a huge ability. Like, we need to have that thing online.
We just saw Flamio. He did insane damage in that last fight, and he just went back. He bought a full Ratatouille and a Soul Reaver. So this guy, he's pumping damage right now, and he's realized that. I like to see them get a little bit aggressive with the Odin cage.
Yeah, this would be the perfect time for it. Grouped up as 5. Odin can just find the jump in. No escape. Here he goes. Great Odin cage. Locking him down. No way to get around. But the Phantom Shell in response. Satudo chases down Cobb. Hercoat in response. Does find a bit of a knock-up. going in deep. Macaroon does find a good knockup through Pursuit of the Week, but always makes his way to the team through the ult fly-through. Flamo does find a kill in the back line, though. Macaroon is down in the grave, chasing deep through the tier 2 tower. Satoru takes down Turco. Great kill there. Still pressing forward, looking for the tier 2 tower. It is weakened by that Ancient Fury, so the Light takes it down with ease. Great siege, great couple kills from Jungla as they're finding their stride and keeping their momentum going as we approach the mid to late game.
It should just be, it's in retrospect, it should be a free fire. It looks like they're going to opt to go for the Pyro instead. I don't know, like, I think maybe they're grabbing this Bomber for potential secure, but you are giving them an opportunity to be able to, you know, defend this Fire Giant.
Right.
Satoru sitting here, he's healing up quite a decent bit with that. That's a late Herc Boulder, extremely late. I think the Pyro is gone for about a solid 2 seconds before that he started to fling that thing out. But like I said, Banan finally able to get good initiation with the Hurt Gauge. You get both shells at the same time. Honestly, great play there. It good after ult there to teleport back to the carry and be able to get a stun out and just get insane value out of it even more. And Robo, a little bit of a late ult there, able to hit one target, and this just sets himself up to get just absolutely exploded by the combination and lockdown from this Agni and this Neve.
10k health left on the FG. And Zeno's a little in a weird position. I would hate for him to get caught out. He got caught out a couple times last game. I would hate for that to happen again. Tiger Sanson, Satoru looking for a bit of distraction while the rest of the team burns the Fire Giant. No escape, tries for a pull, but couldn't find anything there. The Light ready for a fight whenever it shows its face, and he's just waiting for an in. Odin jumps in. Cage is online. He's just looking for a time to use it. Uh-oh, great knockup, followed by the beads pull from the Light. There's decent damage there with the boulder. Odin Cage finally used mainly there to save the life of his friends, which I'm okay with. That's cool. You're keeping them from starting a fight, but that is also a huge resource taken away from Jungla, which means Going Ghost might have a bit of freedom to make their way towards the Fire Giant if they so choose. Oh man, the knockup was great on Satoru, but he decides to driving strike to safety instead because he doesn't want to try and fight Jungla right now. They have the numbers. I think they should. Yeah, they are. Absolutely. Feels the love, takes down Flamo. Cobb does a great job of locking some bodies down. Odin's still alive, but he might be in a bit of trouble. Great driving strike into the team. Big trouble indeed for the Light. No way to dash out of that one. And Jungla's not looking good in this team fight. That staff can only do so much damage, Satoru. You're going to end up falling to your grave. Oxstance barely gets him out alive as he jumps up into the air and finds some safety. Meanwhile, Big Black Banan is taken down, slamming back in, but driving strike into the wall, and Satoru's taken down in quick time before anyone can even blink. 4 bodies down on the floor. Going Ghost feel free as ever, fly as a bird to make their way to the Fire Giant.
Yeah, I think the difference in there is, like, we kind of used our Odin Cage just slightly too loosely. I think if we have an Odin Cage there at the very end there, we just shut everything down. But little health bars on the side of Going Ghost, I don't think it's going to matter. There should just be a free Fire Giant on their side. So Fire Giant goes with the side of Going Ghost. I can think that Jungla is just not responding very well to this Going Ghost aggressiveness. I think we let him over push just a little bit and we let him get away with it. I'd like to see them, you know, try and resustain just a little bit more, regroup, and then try to fight out. But they're just taking these long out sustained fights, and you're gonna lose those because number one, you have Ares healing, and when they're grouped up, that it's dealing so much value. And then you have Herc, who just excels in these fights that last so long, because he's just able to cycle abilities after ability, mainly with the Bladed Boomerang and his passive.
30 minutes in, we're approaching the late game here, JT. Jungla has 1 gold Fury, and Going Ghost has 3, so their sieging potential is a little bit better. Going Ghosts also have a tiny bit of a gold lead over their opponents. I think things are looking good overall for both sides. I don't think anyone's ruled out just yet. These fights seem to be dead even. I think after 2 long games, I mean, these guys got each other checked out. They've done their homework. They know what these people are capable of. They know their strengths and weaknesses, and they know that this objective secure might be a weakness. So Satoru jumps in and not able to seal it away. Almost there. Very, very close indeed. Staff over the wall just could not do enough, though. Just a tad bit early. on that staff slam, but it is what it is. These things happen. Instead, we're just going to back things up. If we're La Jungla and Going Ghost make their way to the tier 2 tower with hopes of siege it.
Yeah, now these T2 towers should be relatively free. I think that you see Jturner split pushing here just a little bit. He does have a bomb. I don't know if he's going to be able to secure this mid bird, but he does have a wave. One bomb down. I don't think he's going to be able to secure it. He might have to end for a little bit, just a little here. 1500 HP. The tower is now locked onto him. Yeah, it's going to be a failed split pushing attempt there from Jturner.
That's a tanky Wukong, by the way. I don't think there's any way he takes that alive. Uh-oh, jumping on in, Fields of Love, looking to put a bit of a stop to the siege that La Jungla has. Going Ghost, charging forward, pursue the weak. Couldn't find the knockup, but did pull the beads away from Big Black Banana. No escape, looking to pull some. Great tally, humongous tally from Balrus right there. That's a game-changing tally right there. Low-key, I know we've been talking some big things on Flamo and the Light. I think there's a lot of good players over here in La Jungla. King Balrus has been on his best behavior for this game 3. I mean, this guy is showing up and showing out as the support of supports right now. Going Ghost might have won this game already if it weren't for the counter engage that Balrus has been pulling off so far.
Now, looks like Going Ghost is going to be able to kind of sweep these towers. And now you're kind of back at a neutral kind of point. Number one, because all that's left of the map is Pyro, and now it's up to the La Jungla and see if they want to potentially try and contest this. They do have another minute on fire, and now, if they do elect to just give this Pyro, now it's on the Going Ghost's hands. Do we decide to, back off, set up for the next fire, or do we use our last 40 seconds of this Fire Giant to maybe potentially play for something else, maybe a bird, especially if you can get a pick on Jturner here?
Jturner is in big trouble, using that Oxworm to get out of harm's way. Decent damage from the boulder that Herc threw out and forcing the ult from the Wukong. He's going to use it to provide a bit of CC immunity and also a dash to get him to safety. Decent damage from Flamo. Almost got knocked up by the 2, but decided to use a backflip to make sure that he was in safety. Could not connect with the Spirit Arrow, but jumping on in. Big Black Banana looking for the Odin Cage. Great job indeed, but he might get punished for it. Chains from the Ares might surely take him down. No escape damage. Oh, almost found a pull, but just could not find it. Going Ghost might not have taken anybody down, but they did take something down. That something being the bird, and they managed to escape with everything intact.
Yeah, good sieging there. You don't see that much in Crete, but siege down on the side, or siege complete on the other side. The bird down on the side of La Jungla. So now, nothing up on the side, on anybody's side. The bird, or the Gold Fury, is going to be spawning here in about 30 seconds or so, probably. Fire Giant going to be up here in about, probably a minute or so. Fire Giant just now fell off. So, will we decide? I wouldn't be just surprised to see La Jungla try and split this on the Gold Fury, but that would leave open Fire Giant on the side of Going Ghost. And now we're to that point of the game where a team fight could end it. We've gotten close before, but now you're starting to see like 60 or so second respawn timers. A team fight, a good Odin Cage, a huge Herc Boulder, Ares pull could end this game. So I'm interested to see how well these teams are going to play this late game.
Fire Giant finally getting taken down by Going Ghost. Cobb has a Sunbeam Bow online along with the Tearfing, so he's going to melt this thing down quick, sitting at about half health. Meanwhile, 2 members of Going Ghost are chasing down Wukong in the middle lane. Big Black Banana's looking for a potential steal here.
Got it.
He's able to steal it away. Huge steal for La Jungla. Massive potential there. Great news indeed.
Great cage.
Odin Cage busted down to provide safety. Wukong's gonna dash on out, but chasing deep. Great Cersei's in. No escape follows, but the beads pulled from Jturner. That's more than fine. He's still alive. Knockup couldn't be found on Jturner. That is huge indeed. Fire Giant being taken away, but the dagger remains in the pockets of Ivory Macaroon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Going Ghost is doing there. They just let Big Black Banana just completely just walk up and just steal the Fire Giant away. They're going to try and save some face here, try to pull the Gold Fury down. 10k, 9k, but Balrus still has Thunder online. That could be something to potentially look at. Big Black Banana, no ult in hand, able to get a little bit aggressive here. Now they're trying to pick it up. Jturner getting aggressive.
Ancient Fury going back and forth, doesn't know who to target. Jungla doesn't want to get burned away here, but they're finally dedicating to the drop. It's going to go the way of Flamo, securing it again for Jungla. Great pull indeed. They need to walk away with their winnings. They do have the Fire Giant online, though. Maybe they take this fight. I don't know. They need to all commit or none. All commit or none. Saturo tried to commit. The rest of the team wasn't feeling it. Bit of a miscommunication, and does end with Saturo losing not just his life, but the Fire Giant buff as well. But it's okay, because 4 other members of Jungla do have their buffs intact still. No Fire Giant on the map, neither with the Ancient Fury, as Jungla secured both. But the Pyro is still available for taking for Going Ghost, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, we were able to secure that dagger, even though they lost out on the Fire Giant. With Pyromancer, were able to gonna choose one of the Phoenixes to go on to. So now, does Jungla get aggressive here? They have Fire Giant for 2 more minutes. Now it's up to them if they want to play it aggressively. Saturo going to be up here in 20 seconds. They also have the Ancient Fury online. You have both power plays up. I want to see them get some aggressive here. This is the time. You have double bomb. If you get a single team fight win, you could end this game, because you have 2 bombs and you have good burn with, you know, the Neath and the Agni. So I want to see him take a big fight here. Engage with the Odin Cage. Just put all your damage into this. Then we use our double bombs to go and get that mid bird down, and we end this game.
That's a very good point. Not just the Pyro Bombs. Very correct. They could easily win a fight with that, but also Dagger in hand for Macaroon, the tankiest guy on that team, can with ease walk forward, tank so much damage, and then walk away after using that dagger, or use the dagger to keep tanking on. He can pursue the weak and tank damage for a whole minute before the rest of the team shows up to follow through. So I think that's a huge difference maker into this. But Fire Giant, a minute left for the rest of La Jungla. They have a good amount of fight potential here. Let's see how this boils down. Is Going Ghost approach the Phoenix of La Jungla. All 5 members.
The Merlin.
Yeah, that is a bad news for sure. I mean, I don't know. That's an escape down. I honestly think La Jungla just engage. I feel like they just need to find it in and just press it hard from here. But Ares doing a bit of split pushing and maybe a distraction scenario. I have no idea what's going on here.
They do have a fat wave pushed up on the left side. Could be waiting for that to go in, but keep it all expended.
Xerxes, followed by the no escape, does get a couple resource pulls.
Huge damage.
Engage is in. Oh my god, Flamo with some massive
Great
damage.
cage.
Black Banana with a massive cage for sure. Saturo takes down another. 2 bodies down on the side of Going Ghost. They're on the retreat. Black Banana takes down Zeno. That's a double kill for the Light and for Banan. Huge 4 bodies in the grave, and Going Ghost might have just thrown this game in quick time, pushing forward here. And that is going to surely be game. There's no way this isn't game.
Yeah, RoboCop doesn't stand much of a chance. Unfortunately, birthday buff not strong enough. RoboCop gonna be able to, even as much long as he's gonna be able to do, he's not gonna be able to stop the amount of damage that this team has. 30 seconds on the closest hits Cobb. That's gonna be GG. La Jungla takes down Going Ghost in 3 very long, intense games.
And before they go, they got to get one more kill on Mordred. Gave it his all to try and defend this set, but just didn't have it online. That's all okay. But La Jungla getting the set. That's a reverse sweep. They reverse swept the set. Humongous for this team.
Yeah, I don't think that Going Ghost was fighting into them with Fire Giant. The opposite team had it. And unfortunately, Turco went on up in his own little mission here. That's not something you want your support to be splitting. If we're in the left side, I know we want to push that wave in, but still, our support shouldn't be the one doing that. It should be our jungler. At worst, it should be our soul laner. And then they just take advantage of it. Turco there late with the ults. Only catches 1, easily tally beats off, and then you saw Banan with a great Odin Cage. Flamio hits an insane Neath combo there, dude, just insane damage, and then Saturo able to dive that backline and just finish everybody off.
Yeah, I feel like Flamo lacked a lot of confidence in the earlier parts of the game. Definitely it took Flamo to get a couple items online before he started really pushing up, and maybe it was a bit of a confidence boost from the team to say like, hey man, you got this. And Flamo goes, yeah, maybe I do got this. It started actually hitting abilities and just deleting health bars from there. So it was awesome to see Flamo come online and One thing that I'm definitely against is Afro being meta. Is she boring to play up against? Yes. Is she absolutely powerful? Yes. The counter engages from Walrus saved this game. I will say this to the day that I die, that Walrus is just a beast. I have no idea how Walrus is in Crete, low-key. I think there's definitely some off games from Walrus, but when Walrus pops off like this, 0, 4, and 15 might not look like a huge stat line. 8k healing might not look humongous, but it's the ultimate utilization and the actives that in Smite 2 the Walrus is just on top of. I mean, this guy is just a monster.
He played this game very well. I don't even think it was a good matchup for him. Personally, I hate playing Afro into I would hate playing into a Hercules, Merlin, and such, just because there's so much able to freaking, burn my utility. But he was very disciplined with how he used it. I don't think there was ever a time where he got caught out. He always had all tally beats, anything for an Ares or an Ares pull, or a hard boulder and such. He played it very well, and he was able to. Jturner was just able to do whatever he wanted in the back line, and King Baros did a good job of being able to enable this Agni even further.
Well, everyone, I believe that's going to be the end of games for today after a long and gruesome set. Jungla ends up on top. So thank you, Riggz, for doing production today. You did a fantastic job, my friend. Thank you, JT, for joining me in the booth. And also, most importantly, thank you, viewers, for tuning in for this live broadcast of one of the many games we have here at OSL. And if you'd like to join in and watch a little more action, or maybe even play yourself, just scroll down a little bit and hit that follow button on the Twitch channel and join the Discord. We've got plenty of action there. But we're going to take off for today. And until then, we'll see you next time.